Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Hey, David. Happy Monday. We have too many things on the to-do list. So, Adam wants to focus on bringing his to-do list, https today.adamlearns.com, into a more manageable territory. So, the number of characters on this, about 38K. There were 38K characters in it as of the beginning of today. Let's see how many he ends with today. Second. Hey, Stella. Okay, so the actual count 37774. Char count 37774. Maybe we'll do it like this. Doesn't really matter. And yeah, let's go to tenets. Let's load that up and that. So I did something kind of, I don't know about stupid, but not the smartest thing. Yesterday, they're very likely going to reset the codex usage today. So yesterday I was at 100% and I'm like, I should use as much as I can and just get stuff done. And I ended up working for like, not 8 hours, but on and off for 8 hours. And I only use 59%, as you can see here. And yeah, now they might reset it today, and there might be another reset that I can use later in the week. So I haven't felt the need to upgrade to the higher level plans at all. And I just thought, man, if I got 5x the usage and I'm using this in one day, it means I'd have to use this basically every single day, because this would have worked out to be, 12%. So I would have been at 88%. Anyway, none of that makes sense. It doesn't matter. The point is that my compulsiveness around needing to use these credits caused me to do extra work. Now, that said, there's some benefits to that. I will show them in a little bit. But yeah, sustainability. So it's been a bit rough. For one, I ran 5 playtests in, I think it was 8 days. But also, I worked for several hours yesterday to try to use my AI quota that will likely reset today. I think I need to take it easy at some point. Yeah. Brakes are still great. Yeah, there's no problem with this. Grit, yeah, this, if we look at what I did in the last week. Oh, there was one problem on Friday. This is not my fault or anything, but the power went out. And I ended up doing some work off stream, but I didn't want to come back to streaming. I don't ever like coming back after a power outage because it's rare that there's just one power outage. Usually it flickers again after that, and all it takes is a flicker for me to have to restart my computer, restart the stream, and I don't like doing that. So yeah, I didn't work the full 6 hours on stream, but yeah, that's the kind of problem you can't do much about. I mean, even if I had an uninterruptible power supply, well, maybe then it could have worked. I should probably look into that. Yeah, I should probably look into that. I guess I'll write it over here. Look into buying a UPS again. Note, I need to use the new merch image that Quickie Joe shared. All right, well, I haven't finished the rest of this. So grit, I wanted to look at my journal and figure out what did I actually do. So last week was here, started stabilization. Yeah, worked on, I started the stabilization phase. I think it's been going well. I've been doing playtest feedback, game design, and some long-standing tasks that I didn't really want to tackle, like making the Steam page or setting up controller glyphs. All right, so the only concern is sustainability here. I've been pushing pretty hard. I'm going to try to keep an eye on that. But yeah, let's get back to this. So today is going to be about the to-do list. I want to organize this stuff. But first, let's start by showing off some of the changes. So this first one I'm most excited about. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. All right, so change to the platformer. All right, so we had this on Friday. This is, oh, when I move the mouse, it's happening. We had this on Friday. We have controller glyphs here now. So this actually matches my controller. If I were to change this, oh wait, maybe I didn't show this on Friday. I don't know. Anyway, if I change it to PlayStation, it now says press X to jump. If I change it to Xbox, it says press A to jump. So yeah, we have proper glyphs. It detects it for you. And if you move the mouse, it will change to the keyboard controls. Or if you use the keyboard, it changes the keyboard controls. So yeah, whatever you use last, that's what it shows. It updates dynamically. We also have controller rebinding now. This is not the best UI, but you can see it's not even working correctly. Oh man. Okay, so the control rebinding UI doesn't have proper translations. Search for controls move up and down. Controls move up, etc. Yeah. Well, anyway, you can rebind controls. I'm not going to show that off. It works like how you'd expect. But this is what I was excited about. So we used to just have it where you try to make this jump, you'd fall, and there'd be this untextured terrain in the background. And now watch what happens. So now you fall through the source code of this actual file here. Like you can see it's Godot code, started falling region, get node, blah, blah, blah. There's some like, I think there's something here that's a little bit broken. Where is it? There's some like Unicode. Yeah, there, whatever that is. Body is platformer player. Ampersands, I guess, don't show up. Yeah. We probably need to do something about that. When falling and seeing glitchy code, I don't think we have a character for ampersand, so it shows as a Unicode character. Probably the same thing for or. But yeah, that looks even more broken. Hey, Andre. Yeah, so that's the goal here, is make it look a little bit more over the top. And yeah, just to show that again with no pausing. And yeah, now when you move left and right, you can actually see it affecting your, affecting the code in the background. So I like that quite a lot. I got that idea from my friend. And I spent a while yesterday getting that to work. I did a bunch of other little things. I don't know if they're even worth showing off, because I don't remember what they even were. Oh, there are a lot of them, I guess. Like this was one of them. We now have the new character portrait at the upper left, which doesn't look like too much right now, but if we change our color, let's say we go delete this file and make a new one and set the hair color to, I don't know, yellow and the shirt color to green. Okay, so remember yellow and green. And now you go into the Dungeon Racer game, and yeah, there it is. So this gets colorized correctly, and it's pretty cool. We have a bunch of other little things. I made it so that we use animated icons for these now. Same thing with bombs. So we now have that. Same thing on this screen. They're the little animated ones with a shimmer. You can see the controller glyph in here. It says press Y to place a bomb, press LR to dash. Again, these match your controllers. It's very nice. There's a lot of little changes like that I did. Kevin had suggested in the loot boxes game that when you have a perk selected, instead of just having a black border around it, we also bold the text beneath it. So yeah, now it's just slightly more obvious what you have selected. So all these little things add up. You know, none of them on their own probably super significant, but... And then I did some changes to the farming game. Okay, so this is kind of cool. Let's show a couple of these. One is, if you throw the axe, it used to be that you'd throw it and it would land on the ground and it would just run away from you, basically. Now it cuts trees that it collides with. So that's kind of a nice touch. And then over here, if you have the key to the community center, Kevin tried digging up the door. Now you actually can dig up the door. At which point the key it has no purpose. So like now you can't use the key anywhere. But yeah, you can just walk in. Hey, Magnus. Now, another thing Kevin tried doing that I actually supported in a different part of the game is if you dig up the wall here, you couldn't leave the community center. Now you can. So like, yeah, nice little touches here. I think what we're going to do is now that the key is pointless, I want to make it so you could like throw it and it'll just explode when it hits the ground. I don't know how many people here have seen Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but whenever Master Shake would throw anything, it would explode when it hit the ground. And I always thought that was kind of funny. So it'd be a nice little touch here. There are probably some other changes I made, but that's a lot of what I did yesterday. And then just kind of fixing some things up and yeah. All right, so burn through the to-do list. Let's start with the organization up here. So yeah, we did all this stuff on Friday. So it's crazy. Just crazy. Crazy amount of stuff getting done. Y'all better hide your to-dos. They getting terminated. Hey, Remy. Steam input backend has a warning about a parameterless constructor. Fix it. Does it still? Does it still? It does. Oh. Okay. I'm just going to give some of these over to here. So let's do this. Let's do this in the local tree for now. Steam input backend has this warning in rider. Fix it. Yeah, okay, so this one's being done. Namespace has caused warnings. We did that already. Test every continue point in the game. Maybe have some easier way of doing this. Test what happens if we see the error interstitial. It really shouldn't show up, but they might see it eventually. Has the key gotten smaller? Hey, Wendy. Wouldn't you like to know? How's it going? And hey, Phaedric. Could you throw the key at the keyhole in Super Mario World and it would exit the level for you? I think you could, yeah. And also, that's a really nice touch even for that game. That was the Super Nintendo era. But I really like this idea that you have something strike, like a playtester tries doing something and you think, let's make that possible. And I think that is, it's part of the core of game design and fun. I think this is how, so Diablo 2 has this concept of a stash. And it's very straightforward. You've probably seen this in a lot of games. There was a treasure chest. They're not showing this anywhere here. There was a treasure chest in the world somewhere. And this was your stash. You could just store extra items in it. It was an inventory. It looked like this. You just got more inventory slots. But I read a story about the development of Diablo 2. And at one point, the stash obviously didn't exist. But the idea didn't even exist. They hadn't planned for it from the beginning. They just thought, yeah, you'll have your inventory. And any other items you find, like, too bad. You'll just have to, you'll lose them. And someone said one day, like, well, we should let them keep them. Like, the game should be out of trading and whatever else. And they added it, like, that day. And now it's a core feature probably for almost every action RPG. But think of if they needed to go through endless amounts of red tape or they needed to convince some bureaucracy to, hey, we should be allowed to do this feature. We need art budget for it, whatever else. It's like, no, they just thought it'd be fun and they added it. And it turns out it was fun and it was super impactful. And I want to do more of those kinds of features too. Not bad. Thanks. How are you? I'm doing really well. I felt pretty good. I don't know if you saw the little feature show off I did right now, but there's a lot of stuff that I just added to the game in a very short amount of time, and it's feeling good. 15 streams. Wow. You should be lead moderator. Yeah, this would be fun then at it. Yeah, and like I think the farming game is probably the best example of this because it's practically every this should be fun idea. Oh, there was another thing in there too. So Kevin just absolutely loved the shovel in the farming game. He just loved digging things up. When he realized that like you can dig through fences and you can dig up trees and stuff, he tried digging up his house. So at one point he went in here and he's like, oh, I should be able to dig up my table. So it's like, okay, well now that's possible. You can dig up your furniture. You can dig up your fireplace. You can dig up your, whatever this is, a dresser or something. You cannot dig up your bed. The bed is story important. So yeah, that is not allowed. But yeah, it's things like that. Throw your weapons at the skeletons or pick up their heads and use them as a projectile knife. Well, so I think the Dungeon Racer game is already like pretty fun. And it's been neat watching people play this. There are some small touches, like you can slash signs and destroy them. But other than that, it's mostly just like what you'd kind of expect. Now, in this room, I did fix a bug yesterday where these coins, as soon as you bomb this wall, the coins would fall. Now they don't fall until the floor actually reaches them. So it's a little bit hard to see because it's all the way on the other side. But yeah, they just fell. So yeah, things like that I'm trying to do and just make them a little bit better. So yeah, this is turned out to be pretty good. Pretty good indeed. I'm very excited. You say he's digging that functionality. Kevin would appreciate that. But he really liked the shovel. Kevin is one of the people who is working on the game, but he hasn't done as much for this game as he did for Skeleseller, so he hadn't seen a lot of this to know that, like, oh, that's what was coded already, or that's what's about to happen. So, yeah. But he loved the shovel. Like, he was using it everywhere, and then in future games, he's like, yeah, but what if we had the shovel in this game? Only it's not essential. Yeah, exactly. exactly that way. All right, so we now have an init here. This is reasonable. We make a new one of these and then initialize it. I actually don't love this idea. And we still have a parameterless constructor, don't we? How do you copy this? Jeez. There we go. Yeah, so now there's a warning about this. Fix that too. Okay, yeah, it's just add a dispose function that gets rid of stuff. So test every continue point in the game. Maybe I have some easier way of doing this. This is a little bit annoying to have to go through. I guess we need to know, well, first let's go over to here. Set it to, whoop, what just happened? We'll set it to maximized. Yeah, that's fine. And then I got to go look at all the continue points. Continue point. All right, what do we got? Platformer, first farming visit, second farming visit. Yeah, so we got to technically try all of these. I think the easiest way is just to go modify the save file. Let's go do that. Let's find slot 1, development, synchronized, slot 1. Whoops, didn't work. All right, continue point is set to 1. So if we were to just hit continue right now on slot 1, we go into the platformer. Oh, it full screens a game as well. All right, that's a little bit weird because it's saved into the save file. All right, well, we can just change that, I guess. What is going on? Local slot 1. Where is the window mode? Window mode, here it is. Okay, so we probably set this to 1. I don't know, I'm just gonna try that. What does that do? No. Oh, wait, no, that kind of worked. Yeah, that kind of worked. Okay, cool. So we're gonna try every continue point here, and we have to work our way up to 8. So it should be pretty simple. We just set this to 2. We go over here. We load the game. We should be in the farming game for the first time. Yeah. Now we set it to 3. We should be in the farming game for the second time. That's not right. Oh, going to the title, set it back to 2. No, this isn't right. Something's wrong here. Maybe because it needs to save something else? Yeah, here it is in farming game for second time. All right, so we need to set this to true and set the other one to 3. Yeah, it doesn't save. Okay. No, something's still wrong. Oh, I know it's wrong. It is saving. Okay, never mind. Yeah, let's do that. We'll get there. I'll test this. I'll learn what I'm doing. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so that's working. Now we set this to 4. This should be the top-down shooter. No, it's the Architect's Realm. Ah, yes, that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, let's set it to 5. This should be the top-down shooter. It's also not me doing this correctly. Yep, nice. Oh, neat. Move using W and the arrow keys? That's strange. Probably need to fix that. Fix this. I'm okay with it saying WASD here, but not mixing W and the arrow keys. Why is that happening? Oh, weird. They're bound differently. Yeah, so it's because of this. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Okay, let's go back to the title. Whoops. That's not the title screen. That's the quick game button. All right, continue point 6 is the loot boxes game. And then, yeah, 7 and 8. Keep seeing the upper lip as a mustache and the black part as the mouth. I Okay, I can kind of picture that. Yeah. But it's not the first thing my brain thinks. All right, this is good. 7 is the dungeon racer. And finally, 8 is completed, and I don't know what that's going to do. Yeah, put me in the endless part of the dungeon racer. Okay, cool. Every continue point works. That's what happens when you see the error interstitial. Okay, so how do we get this to show up? I guess first let's go do this. Marking this as sealed since it isn't designed or used as a base class. The game builds successfully. Okay, so that means it doesn't manage anything that needs to be disposed. Yeah, no, I guess it's fine. Steamworks. Interesting. Oh, I gotta think about this. We're gonna have Steam code on the itch build. I think it's okay to have the code there. I don't know how big this DLL is. How do I even figure that out? Hey, Expressel. Hey, Goose. Truly blessed to see another sunrise indeed. How's it going? All right, we got to go to, I guess, Mac. This isn't right. Go burrito. Yeah, this is correct. August 7th, artifacts, Mac, content. Somewhere in here, it's probably got a DLL. I gotta go figure out where. No, I don't know where it is. Okay, well, fine. It's probably... I'll just search for DLL. And we should see a Steamworks DLL in here, right? Steam. There it is. How big is this? 401 kilobytes. Okay, never mind. That's not a problem. Yeah, I don't care about that. And what's this one? 401 kilobytes. Where is this located? In the Windows build? Yeah, I don't think there's a problem, but I guess what I should have searched for is Steamworks because it's not called a DLL on Linux, and I want to see what the Linux one is. Steamworks.net. Read dist. Here it is. Okay, good. Yeah, so if I just look at the Windows one, this should be roughly 400 kilobytes, right? 319. How is that possible? Okay, sure, whatever. And then how big is this one? 430, and this one 385. Yeah, this is not worth worrying about. Don't forget to at. Oh, don't forget to regularly check your blood pressure. Hey, Cuddlefish, did you get... Is this related to some news? I hope not. I hope everything's fine. So we are technically shipping the Steamworks DLL alongside the itch build. I don't really think that's a problem, but I don't want any Steam stuff to run when you're on the itch build, so we got to check that out. Make sure no Steam stuff runs when you're on the itch build. Or if it does, it shouldn't cause any problems if Steam isn't installed or if it's not running. Imagine that's how they gave you your blood pressure. You figure it out. All right, just good to check. Yeah. All right, cool. Sounds good. This is address a warning about this. I guess we'll also keep track of AI usage. This should reset back to 100% pretty soon. I'm guessing it will. Should reset today though. Okay, so fix some warnings about constructors and disposables. All right, that's done. Test what happens when they see the error interstitial. All right, we gotta fake this because I don't think we can create this for real unless I like revoke permissions on my computer. And I'm not gonna try to figure that out. So let's just force this to happen. Yeah, on load slot requested. We'll just say in the success case to show an error. There, let's see what it looks like. It should be just an untextured, like totally plain dialogue that just says something. And yeah, I don't really care what it even says. This save file was created with an unsupported save version and cannot be loaded. Yeah, and then it says generic menu okay. I guess we gotta do something about that too. There are a lot of these problems. Generic menu okay on the error interstitial. All right, so what does this mean? Does this mean that the error interstitial is just not part of template generation? Do we see the word error here? There's no search. I don't. Okay, so that's probably the issue. FFI error interstitial. There it is. Game source control flow. Or no, game scenes control flow. Game scenes control flow. All right, so if I do that and then I rerun this, will this work? Oh, you can't press escape there. Interesting. All right, let's rerun. Now there's one other potential problem, although maybe I did this wrong to begin with. Yeah, the other potential problem is that I might not have a generic menu okay translation. I don't. Okay. So, oh boy. All right, well, I'm going to just back out of this for now. Yeah, this is probably the right fix, and I'll just get to this later because I don't want to focus on that right now. What I'd like to focus on is what other places can cause this error to show up. Save screen, on character palette accepted. There's no other way to error, it's just this. Is this on saving? Delete slot, if that fails? Isn't there a place where saving could fail? Huh. Should be. Let me take a look over here. Here it is. Get primary path. Try operation. Unable to do this. It doesn't show the error interstitial that way. Oh, it was only on the very first creation. Okay. I remember. That way, if you had some like permanent problem, you'd know when you go set the palette. All right, so I got to find that show error call, which is where? Right here. So we're gonna just do that. There, done. Hit 39. Jealous. So jealous. All right, new game. We're gonna try to accept this. It's not gonna work. Save file cannot be created after retrying. Please report this bug. You can continue playing, but progress on PC. Okay. This is decent. I just wrote some like generic message in here though, and I wanted to make it a more correct message. I should change the wording on that message. And then change AI disclosure to mention shaders or small UI stuff. Okay, so that's finished. Title screen, what do we change here? I just saved the file and it automatically did this stuff. I mean, not that one bit, but yeah, let's go do that correctly then. Title screen. Doesn't work unless you actually have changes, huh? Apply writers, auto formatting. Cool. Okay, UI looks pretty bad. Get rid of the cancel button and just show controller glyphs. Hold X, delete save slot. And B, return to title screen. Let's go take a look at that. Well, this part's fine. Well, is it? Also, I had some chat somewhere. I should go find out where that is. About how to stop the Godot crashed things from showing up. Here it is. macOS does not appear to provide a documented per app never show crash dialogues. Okay, well, that's too bad. I'll still have to look into that at some point. I think Hideo had mentioned some way to stop that from happening. And for some reason back then, I didn't want to do it, but now I want to do it. So I'll have to look at my notes for that. Anyway, get rid of the cancel button and show the controller. So let's go look at the UI and see what it looks like right now. Yeah, I just want to get as many things off of this list as I can. Every once in a while, it just feels overwhelming when I've got too many to-do items. And even if they're not super important. Hey, Jerry Dean, bullet point mastery. All right, so here's what this looks like right now. I think this is decent. It is not great. It certainly doesn't look pretty or anything, but I want to improve some of the functionality of this. You can X out of this. All right, so the delete thing can be at the bottom. Cancel could also just be a glyph. But then the mouse wouldn't work, right? I mean, how much do I care about you being able to use the mouse for this stuff? Hey, but long, no more golden emotes? No more golden emotes. The mighty have fallen. So if you are on a mouse, one of the things we could do is just show a cancel button here. I don't know how much mouse stuff we want to do, though. What do you mean? Look, there's a gold hue here. Is there any requirement to even do this? Can you make a game that only supports keyboard but not mouse? Does a game need mouse support if it works entirely on keyboard or gamepad? Just want to know if it's necessary. I don't know. I'm torn. Kevin did comment on this in one spot. He was on the... Well, I guess I got to delete something first so I can show you this. He was on this screen. And he saw down here at the bottom, it says QE change selection. He's like, yeah, but what if I didn't have the keyboard? Like, how would I... But that's the thing, right? I guess you can't control the entire game through the mouse. So some of the UI is only keyboard. Okay, you know what? That's I think the stance we're going to take. Probably. I don't know for sure. But that the mouse is like, if it's reasonable to add it, then we can add it. But otherwise, I don't think I care. Now, where do we write this so I don't forget? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. All right, I'll just write in the stream of consciousness for now. Mouse support philosophy. If we have elements that look clickable, then they should be clickable. However, if there is no way to do something with the mouse, that's okay with me. E.g., yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter what. Since the game requires a keyboard or gamepad to play eventually. Hey, Scoreline, it's going really well. We've been making lots of progress. I'm feeling pretty good. The playtest went well. Yeah. How's it going for you? How is life? Should there be an additional box during character creation that says hair, skin tone, skin tone, and those are clickable? So that's what I'm saying that we shouldn't do, thanks to this philosophy here. And part of the reason why is in order for you to do something with the mouse, like you could make it so you can click here and it can change, or you could click the body part you're trying to change here. But typically, I think there's going to need to be some label, and that's extra localization burden as well. Only for mouse users, and mouse users should represent like 5% of the player base. And like I said, if there's an obvious UI like here, you can use the mouse here. I'm never going to stop this from happening. So yeah, if you want to customize your character like this, and then yeah, you press E on your keyboard and now you switch to the eye color, and you press E and now you're on the skin color, and so on and so forth. Like that's fine. And yeah, there's a cancel button here. I'd expect that to work. But if those didn't exist, if this was some like here, there's no click to jump. You can't do that. So yeah, you'd have to press space at some point, and that's why I don't think it's worth just having the mouse work and nothing else. Now, I think there are games where that doesn't make sense. Like let's say you're playing a card game, for example. Like a card game should probably be almost mouse first and keyboard second. But yeah. Hey, Chili. Howdy, howdy. And very good. Nice. Okay, so what did I say? We're going to change something. Oh, by the way, this is my custom Chrome theme that I was talking about on Discord. It turns out it's really easy to make a Chrome theme. And I wanted something that was pretty much black everywhere, but that I could see which tab is selected. And yeah, it was trivially easy to just give this to AI, and it just made a bunch of colors, and it's all set up now. Because yeah, the problem I originally ran into is when you switch away from Chrome, do you see how this text got darker? It's lighter, it's darker, it's lighter, it's darker. When you switch away from Chrome on my old theme, it turned this entire bar gray. And it just stuck out like a sore thumb. So then I switched to this all black theme, but then I couldn't tell which tab was selected. So now I fixed all of those problems. Hey, ABC, hey, Crow. Big cursor, wow. And hey, Mind. I've always used the big cursor, though. Pretty much mouse only. You can hit escape to open and close settings, and that's it. Yeah. Some games, I think it's kind of hard to come up with what would keyboard controls be. Like, I think Slay the Spire added a keyboard-only mode. And I can kind of see how it would work. I haven't tried it. Like, I use the keyboard keys to pick which number card out of my hand that I want. So if I want to play the second card, I press 2. But then a lot of them require targets. And it might be any of 4 players or any of up to probably like 7 enemies or something. And I just don't... It doesn't make sense to me. I think as an accessibility thing, it makes sense. Also, in like a multi-million-dollar game, it makes sense to do things a little bit differently than in a game that might not make any money. So like, I don't know if this game's going to catch on or not. I'm not going to spend a ton of time accommodating a bunch of different scenarios, because if it turns out to just flop, then it was all a waste of time. I don't look at that as entirely true anyway. Okay, so get rid of the cancel button and just show controller glyphs. Hold X, delete save slot, B, return to title screen. Yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable. And what is this on the save slot screen? I want to show controller glyphs instead of some of the text / buttons that we have. So instead of a cancel button, show a controller glyph like B, return to, or maybe it could just say cancel. No, return to title screen. Yeah, return to title screen is probably better. Instead of, what is the other thing? Instead of hold delete, it should say hold X, delete slot, where X is X is the controller glyph for the corresponding key. And is there anything else we can do? So what this is going to do for us is it's going to, and I'm going to do this really stupidly here. It's going to delete this text, this text, this text, and this text. And then it's also going to delete this entire button. And in its place is going to go instructions. Yeah, these should go at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, I don't think we need something like a select slot. So let's just start with that. It's our another day of another penny. I think you're at a 1% ratio what you should be getting for another day. All right, pressing up one on the top slot should bring you to the bottom of the UI and vice versa. Probably should have just told it to do that. Yeah, so that doesn't work. And, oh, whoa, can you lose the cursor? What is even focused right now? Wait. What am I doing? How am I losing this? Oh, left? Yeah, if you press left. Okay, that's a problem. If you press left on the first save slot, the focus is lost. Same with pressing down on the cancel button. We need to trap the focus in these elements. And I want, maybe we should just change the layout of the screen. Yeah, okay, here's what I'm thinking. We make them in more like longer rows, just have them take up the whole screen and just show four of them in a row. Or four of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, just on top of each other. I think it would look worse when there are only a few of them. So like here, if I delete this slot, we'd only have two. If I delete this, we'd only have the one. Maybe we show blank slots. But then you'd expect to be able to pick that one. And I guess we wouldn't need a new game button. Hey, TJ. It's going to the main menu screen behind it. But I can't press a button there. It might be going to that. I think blank slots would look good. Yeah, I think that's maybe what we should do. Maybe just change it to be a VBox container of 4 save slots. Lay out the slots more horizontally and show blank slots instead of a new game button. You can see the bottom left button light up. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, no, wait, yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna give Chili the point for that. Sorry, Magnus. Okay, it goes back to the title screen button. All right, so this should be done pretty soon, right? Yeah. All right, so this is what we're working on now. Didn't test for sounds. Yeah, I did not test for sounds even now either. So should I change this? And if so, what should these look like? So here's what we have right now. We have, well, I kind of want to show both of those at the same time, but I think we have a picture of it. Yeah, we have a picture of it. So I'll just put this here and this here. So we have we have the portrait, or the player. And then slot 1, playtime 007 13. Where's my colon key? There we go. And then last played is whatever. I'm just going to write something out here. And that's it. So I'm thinking is, actually, you know what? We could pretty much just keep this as is and just shrink this font a tiny bit. And then it would fit in line with the character, right? Like you can see we're not actually too far off here. The head kind of aligns here, and the foot, if we just shrink the font a little bit, would make this align. And then we have our horizontal slot. And if we wanted to eventually show where you left off, we could just put both of these lines of text on the same line. So the playtime would show here. That could work. Most recent game you're in, how many games you played? Well, the most recent game you're in, what I was thinking of doing is it would just change your character sprite to resemble the one from that game. So like, let's say you left off at the farming game. This is the character sprite we'd show on that screen. So at any given time, you wouldn't know exactly which game you were in, but it also wouldn't be a spoiler for anyone else who is on your computer, I guess. You'd just be like, oh, there's a game where I look like, this character. But they're all going to look kind of similar. Never saw the title screen? Oh, yeah, I just slapped the logo onto it, or the capsule art. It's a little bit better. But one of the things what happened here? Object reference not set. Oh, right, because it's currently writing code for me, and I just started this in the middle of it, right? May I launch Godot to capture this? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I want to show you the glitchy code effect. Show monadic bind the glitchy code effect. The problem is I gotta wait for this to finish because I had this run locally. Actually, maybe it'll work. Let's go try it. So yeah, a friend of mine played the game and he's like, I think you need to break the game in a more over-the-top way. So you've seen this a bunch of times, but look at what it looks like now. Now we show you the source code of this game as you're falling, which is a much more over-the-top way of breaking this. So I really like that. I think it's very cool. It actually is the source for this game as well, which is kind of extra funny if you freeze frame it there. It's a little hard to read. It's never supposed to be read, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, if you freeze frame here, it's like you can see private void, fade out, spooky music player.tween volume 02. But what's especially cool about this is like, I just had AI write this little like code renderer thing, and I didn't even tell it use syntax highlighting. It wrote like a syntax highlighter. So if you search here, they've got C# keywords. They picked all the different syntax highlighting colors. It's like, this is pretty impressive. So yeah, I think this looks a lot better. I think we need to do something like this in all the different games. Not a code effect exactly, but some like obviously broken way of handling this. But yeah, this is so much better than what we used to have. I went above and beyond. Hey, Justa, yeah. All right, is this done? May I relaunch Godot? Yes. Digging just uncovers raw code. I don't always want it to be code, but we could do that. In fact, maybe that's a better idea than the chef slime thing that I had. Maybe you would see source code beneath your house. It doesn't have to look super glitchy. You've already seen bleed in the current game as you progress. More and more options bleed in. They'll probably get glitchier, but I want to be careful about like cross-game pollination because we need a lore reason for that. And I could come up with one, but I haven't yet. So I just got to think about what it would be. An extra token. You get one more token. Spend it wisely. Do any deliberate FPS drops when you broke the game? No, that's actually pretty interesting. I never thought of that. That's really, really interesting. You know what? Maybe I'll do that for the sidekick thing that we have here. Oh, I wrote the word sidekick so many times I'm never going to find this. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, that could be interesting. Which visual motif for the player to understand? Could just be a color or some kind of visual artifact. Yeah, so this is what my friend had said too, and my pushback against this was, I don't know if you were here when I was talking about this, but Super Mario World, like defeat Ghost House, or no, it was a castle, right? There were these things in yeah, here we go. There were these interstitials in Super Mario World where depending on the castle you beat, Mario would do a different thing to destroy the castle. So in this one, there's a little TNT detonator thing, and he blew up the castle. In one of them, he like jumps on the top of the castle and knocks it into the ground. I like that they were different every time because it was a neat little thing to look forward to. So I can see the pros and cons of both of these. If you have a similar motif, then you'd be like, oh, I'm getting to the end of this game. Okay, yeah, I understand what this is about. And the consistency can help. But if you have a different motif, then it's like a different funny idea each time or a different cool way of breaking it. So as an example, one thing that we could do at some point is, and this is not a great idea, but imagine if like the community center was the way out of this game. We could just like skew this sprite like this and then scale it in one direction. So we set this to like 5. And like that could be how you leave this game. It's just a super broken looking sprite. And we just keep doing like wacky ideas like this. So I'm not sure. I'm a little torn. Play fireworks sound effects so the last two digits are the same, like in Mario games. That is very subtle because I don't know how many people know that about the Mario games. Hey, Matt. We can all be to-do terminators. Yeah, good luck terminating today. This is fine. In fact, I don't even think we really need to do this. It's probably already done with the task, and I can just go look at it myself now. A, return to title screen. Hold X, delete slot. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Great. Now, I don't ever plan on putting the most obvious things here, like accept. Whatever your confirm button is, I expect you to know at some point. So I'm not going to write like, B accept. I think that's okay. I think it just needs to be for non-obvious controls. And I guess to that effect, pressing A to return to the title screen is kind of obvious. But, we'll keep it there. Save slots and scale this other one. Not going to happen. All right, is this done now? It should be done pretty soon. Just spending tokens for no reason. And has it reset yet? Nope. It better reset today because that's the whole reason I did work yesterday. Otherwise, I have a manual reset. I can always just use it. That's why I'm not really worried. And they said they're probably going to bring banked resets back. Hokey dokes. Well, it was silly of me to have this run locally. I thought it would finish faster than it did. Since it's taking its sweet time, I can't move on to the next bit. But I guess we can write the prompt for the next bit. Okay, so I want to change the save slot UI. Rather than only showing a slot when it's got data, I want to always show slots. When empty, it should just say, the slot should say empty slot. Oh, you know what'd be kind of cool? This is polished that we don't need to do yet. But it'd be kind of cool to show an outline of the player and maybe like a question mark on them or something. But I think just showing empty slot is probably fine. Or maybe it says new game. Or like slot 1 new game. How do we want to do that? What's the clearest? What did Super Mario 64 do? Whoops. Super Mario 64 save slots. What did the new ones look like? It just said new. Okay, yeah. I think showing new game there is probably a good idea. Oh, they also showed the outline of Mario. Interesting. Maybe I was subconsciously taking that idea. Hey, Blair's, how you doing? Welcome back. How have you been? I kind of like that idea. Show a monochrome. Yeah, just put new game there or new. Always show slots. When empty, the slot should show the platformer characters graphic, but with a monochrome color palette. You could make a monochrome color palette yourself though. And I don't want it to be confused. I mean, it'll say new game next to it, so I guess that part will be obvious. Also use a weird you control a mouse cursor. Yes, it did. Yeah, so if you go to new game here, you could technically just set this all to, well, I guess the hair's already white. But like you could set this to, what am I yeah, that's the eye color. This is the skin color. So we set this to like a gray. And then the shirt to a gray. And this to... So I guess the problem is that we can't ever make this be gray as well. So it'll still have some color in it. So if I go click accept and then go back to the title screen. Unanimated or only animate the one you got focused? Well, that's kind of an interesting idea too. Thought about using something like Apple Dictation. No, I haven't really. I like just writing everything out for this stuff. Well, I mean, I guess I have thought of it. I just haven't done it. I don't think I want to do it. Should we only animate the one that is selected? And yeah, what do we do about the color of this? I mean, we could change their opacity. Let's just go with a monochrome thing for now. I think it's fine. Also, let's go review this code that it did so I can check that in. Yeah, this is going to be today, just burning through as many to-do items as we can. Not really concerned about priority here. Like, this is not the top priority thing, but I still just want to do it. So it says A, return to title screen, hold X, delete slot. Yeah, and I think this is an obvious enough mechanic here. It says at the bottom, hold X. So if you don't hold it for long enough, it's not going to delete it. Also, it's set to 1 second because I'm on a developer build, but on a real build, it would take 3 seconds for you to hold this down. And then, yeah, I would delete it. Should probably play a sound when you delete it too. I should probably write that down. And a deletion sound. Yeah. Maybe it should play a sound while deleting. Like every 0.25 seconds. Any random surprise already filled save slot goof? Well, no, but part of the reason why is there's no way to do that right now. Like you can only pick new game or a slot here. So there's no way to run into a state that would cause that goof. But I want to be careful about anything on the title screen that is super broken because I want players to ease into the brokenness. And anything we do on the title screen might make it seem like, oh, this game's broken from the beginning. But I want the platformer to seem like a real game and that nothing should really feel that broken up until then. Because originally I was also thinking like, what if the title screen itself had some like brokenness? Like in order to even change the settings, you had to like dislodge it from between these couple of characters or something. And I thought, man, for people who want to just like mute the audio, they're going to be frustrated. So I'll probably keep things pretty straightforward on the title screen. All right, so this looks good. Let's go check this in. Cancel button is now gone. Yep, good. Delete hint is gone as well. That's fine. Input prompt label is there. Yep, good, cool. Action hints, sounds good. Yeah, this is exactly what I would want. Great. Great. All right, so change save slot screen. Got rid of the cancel button. Added controller glyph based instructions. Got rid of, what was it? Delete hold or something? What did it say? Hold delete. All right, so the next thing, and I want to write this prompt and then go take my break. Want to revamp the save slot screen. All right, rather than only showing a slot when it's got data, I want to always show slots. When empty, the slot should show the platform characters graphic with a monochrome color palette. It should say slot X new game next to it. Okay, so the contents of a slot with save data can look the same, but I want the text to fit roughly within the platformer sprite's height, which probably means shrinking the playtime string or playtime strings font size. Hey, Boolean, happy 25 streams. Did Blair's ever respond? No, just long time no see. Okay, well, anyway, hello again. Yeah. All right, what else? Get rid of the explicit new game button. Now that will show... Now it will always show slots. And selecting a slot that has no save data should result in the save data going to that specific slot. If slots 2 and 3 are both free, but the player selects 3 to start a new game, then the save data should go into slot 3. And what else do we have here? Only animate the character for the selected save slot. I'm not sure if I like this idea. Well, I like the thought of it. I don't know if in practice I'm going to like it. But yeah, let's try it. And where did I say that thing about? Yeah, we'll probably do this today too, but let's finish this one. So what else do I need to do? Oh yeah. Render the slots in a VBox container spanning the width of the screen. Yeah, so they're going to be, it's going to say save slots, it's going to be slot, 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 and then instructions at the bottom, and that's it. So it should be pretty clean looking UI, I think. Only when it has saved data. I want to always show slots. When empty, the slot should show the platform character's graphic, but with a monochrome color palette, it should say slot X new game next to it. But no playtime or last played should show. Contents of a slot with save data can look the same, but I want the text to fit roughly within this platform sprite's height, albeit off to the right of the sprite, just like how it looks now. Get rid of the explicit new game button now that will always show slots. Selecting a slot that has no save data should result in the save data going to that, or like choosing a slot. Only animate the character for the selected save slot. The other character sprites should look static. Render the slots in the VBox container spanning with the screen. Okay, I think it's pretty good. And we have no outstanding code. Yeah. So let's kick that off. Have they reset AI usage yet? No. I mean, like I said, it's still fine, but I am expecting them to do that at some point. All right, I'm gonna go take a quick break while this thing is running, which probably means that it's gonna like reset jump time. Oh, I never showed Magnetic Bind this. No, wait, I did show it. Yeah. All right, well, whatever. Let's just kick this off, and if it ruins the break, it ruins the break. Is it jump time? Computer, is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, I can already see this trying to fight me, so you know what I'll do? I'll just make this not full screen. Let's put it like that. Yeah. So I'll be back in a little bit. See you soon. Okay, I'm back. Hello again. Close the game. Hey, Lucas. What is it? It is Jump Royale, and it is a game I made on stream a while ago for people to play on stream. So yeah, this has been running. This I gotta fix. Adding sounds I gotta fix. Figure out what to do about save and load on the pause menu. What should we do about that? Save/load buttons on the pause menu. Like, people are going to want to save their game, and if there's no explicit save button, they won't know about the autosave system. So one way of doing this, excuse me, is to, well, option one, have the save button tell you that the game autosaves every so often and that this button does nothing. I think that's kind of weird. That's what Google Docs does. At least I'm pretty sure they have something in like file save, right? I think if you press, no, huh? I could have sworn something like that existed at some point. Okay. Well, anyway, option two is have in-game checkpoints. This makes it clear to the player that they only save when they hit a checkpoint. What else do we do? I guess option three is like allow the save button to save at arbitrary points. This is a ton of development effort to try to allow saving/loading from basically anywhere. You need to save like world states that we otherwise don't have to save. Yeah, I don't like option three. In-game checkpoints, it just doesn't fit as much. I'm kind of leaning toward option one. Let me allow this. Let me just put this over here for now. By the way, there's a tiny problem now I have with Chrome. When you have vertical tabs, there's no easy grab point on the top bar. You have to grab like between icons. And, well, that didn't work for a different reason. But yeah, like there I could grab. But when you have horizontal tabs, it's like you could grab from anywhere in this section here. So I want vertical tabs, but I want the address bar to not take up the entirety of the screen. So I have some like easy drag point. It's too hard to hit a consistent drag point here. Option two makes the most sense to me. I think this would make the most sense to a lot of players. I think I need to just think about this a little bit more. So like this is what Undertale did. There were in-world save points. For us, the saves only happen between games, or almost always. And it's a meta enough game that I think we'd have to comment on the save points. Can you grab the blank section below the tabs? This is Google Docs in here. This is the web page content. If you're saying, oh, I can grab that. Oh, okay. Chili's getting all of the points today. Wow, I did not know that. I didn't even think to do this. Wow. I'm gonna have to write that down somewhere. You can drag Chrome by the blank space below the vertical tabs. Write this down in my note. Game is autosaving while this icon is showing. Yeah, they're usually combined with loading screens. It's just most of the loading is probably gonna be so fast that I guess it doesn't need to be on a loading screen. Yeah, actually, that's kind of interesting. We could just show a little out of world notification at the bottom right saying, yeah, game is auto saving. or saving progress, followed by saved progress or something when it's done. Okay, I like that idea. Yeah, I like that. And then we just delete the save button. Delete the save button from the pause menu. We can still have a load button. I don't know what we want to do about that. Would it even make sense to have a load button? Do you ever need to load from within the game? You could just go to the title screen. Was there even a reason to do this in Skeleseller? I don't think so. I think we could just get rid of that. Yeah, it would simplify the pause menu. Not that we have so many things there that I'm concerned about it from a confusion perspective or anything. But right now, inside of a game, the pause menu looks like this. Back to game, settings, save and load or grayed out, because we just never did them, return a title, and quick game. So we would just have back to game, settings, return a title, quick game. It'd look a little bit cleaner. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I think that could be the plan. Now, this finished. So let's go take a look at that. And let's write down what we want to do here. Where did I write this? Here we go. So show saving progress ... at the bottom right when we're saving, and saved progress when finished. Fade out saved progress after like 2 seconds. That's long enough for you to see it, I think. 2 to 3 seconds. 3 seconds, I guess. And then get rid of both the save/load buttons on the pause menu. And that's it, right? That's our whole plan. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Okay. I shall gift Monadic Bind a point for that. Now let's go take a look at the new save slot UI. All right, you can still move the focus off the side of this. Yeah, you can still move it off the side of this. All right, so let's say I select slot 3 and I pick a random color of blue. Great. Now let's go select this. Now I go to the title screen. So that was slot 3. That is not the title screen. That is the title screen. Slot 3 now has his character in there. Good. All right, how do people feel about the only animate the one that's selected? I think it's kind of cool. In which case, I think I should give Phaedric a point. The act of the autosave disappearing itself is a confirmation. We could even just not show the progress part. We could just show game saved. In fact, yeah, maybe that's a little bit better. I think I like this, though. So I will give Phaedric a point. All right, let me write that down. Maybe only shows saved progress. And not the saving progress message. Kind of like that. Okay, so slots are fine. We got to trap focus. But yeah, I think this screen looks a lot better. Let me take a look at it again. Hey, 3D extended. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. Now, I think what would look a tiny bit better is instead of slot 1 : new game, it's slot 1 and then beneath it, new game. I actually don't really care. Yeah, let's not worry about that for right now. All right, so now let's say you have all of them filled. There we go. No, wait, this isn't filled. Oh, no, I did. I made the monochrome character. Right. Yeah, so now I want to delete 4, let's say. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Cool. All right, we changed quite a lot in here. There's no new game button. No, I guess it did have sounds in it though. Interesting. New game requested. Otherwise, load requested. Why aren't these combined? Yeah. And then we can use a pattern here. Nice. So the cleaner code. This can also change into a pattern. We check if summary is null all over the place. I feel like we should just turn that into a proper Boolean here. I think it's fine. Let's leave it as is. I guess I shouldn't be too nitpicky about this stuff. Add delete bar. Create preview. Is monochrome. Monochrome shader. We don't need to do that. Oh, man. It added a monochrome shader, didn't it? Yeah, although technically this would allow us to shade the player in a way that you couldn't normally get. Maybe. I'm not even positive that's true. No, it is true. It is true. Yeah, because we don't have yellow on that. I didn't even notice that. Huh. Yeah, so here is a character I customized to have gray and black, but you can see yellow and red in here because of how we always color those. But here we have no yellow and red because it's a monochrome shader. Interesting. Yeah, so that's pretty nice. I like that. But then that raises the question of like, what is the palette doing? What is the palette doing? Couldn't we set this to literally anything? This might not be true. No, I think it should be true, right? Because the way that we're colorizing a character is through a shader, and we can't have two shaders. So if I set all of this to the same color, if we set this to like bright red, 1 0 0, whoops, 0 0, and I saw this open, so let's take a picture of this. Hey Pickle, good morning. Okay, now we go quit out of that. Whoops, I don't know what I'm doing. That's fine. We paste this over here. We go relaunch it. I don't think it's going to look any different. And I think the reason why is that there is no shader taking effect there. It does look different. How's that possible? They saw safe slots and decided against it. Do you know that one time a long time ago he was going to raid and he saw JavaScript and decided against it? Okay, interesting. All right, then, yeah, I guess we need to keep this. I don't understand how this works. Where is the focus right now? There it is. Okay. Create preview. Character palette is Monaco. Oh, it adds it to the shader. I see. I see. I don't think that's really necessary. And where do we use the palette? Apply palette. Yeah, I don't really need to do that. In fact, if I just delete this, what happens here? Ooh, 25 streams. Nice. And VTubers and dot dot dot. And games where they have you choose a save slot when you don't have a save slot already. Yeah, this looks fine, right? Is there any real difference between this and what we just saw? Let's compare this to this picture. If there's a difference, and I think there is a little bit on the shading, it's not important. Yeah, it's not important. I think the point is that it's monochrome. Okay, so then we just need to apply any palette. So I could just change this to new and do nothing. Yeah, it's already got defaults. Let's go test that out. No, save slots. A very different concept. Has he ever rated me? I can't recall. If he did, it was once. Because I always was thinking to myself, like, if he ever rated, would I comment that, like, oh, hey, I'm not using JavaScript right now? But yeah, I can't recall. Yeah, I think this looks fine. I don't think we need to do anything special here. Okay, yeah. Note both this palette and the monochrome effect will apply because we use shaders on 2 different nodes. All right, where we leave off of this diff. I think we got down to like roughly here. I got down to the monochrome stuff. Yeah, so the monochrome thing is actually needed. That's fine. That's fine. Animated preview. That's fine. Select slot button. Interesting. Render target update mode. Yeah, interesting. Prefer try get value method. Yeah, I'm not going to bother changing that right now. Okay, that's good enough. Now here we just change some containers around. I mean, it looks good, so I'm not going to review that too closely. Begin pending new slot. We pick the slot number. Yep. Sounds good. Change some tests around. Not going to look at that either for right now. All buttons, top button. This is inside the title screen. Turn to slot screen after customization. Okay, looks good. Cool. And then we just have the messages. And this might break, but let's go check this in. So revamp save slot screen. Save slots now show regardless of whether they have save data. There is no explicit new game button anymore. And choosing an empty slot will fill that particular slot with save data rather than the first unfilled slot. Is there anything else I did? I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we could just look at the prompt. Oh, yeah. Oops. We only animate the character from the selected save slot. Okay, we are making some progress on this. So this is done. So now let's start using different work trees so that I can do all this much more quickly. Hey, Elixirium. Is that keyboard a game changer? Starting to experience some aches at the end of the day and looking for alternative ergos? So I did not have any strain or pain for my keyboard usage, so I can't comment from that point of view. But there is very little motion with this keyboard, and you can separate the halves as much as you want. And as you watch me type, or as you watch me navigate my computer or go to any different, I don't know, use hotkeys or close things or navigate around, you'll see like there is very little finger movement. So if that seems appealing, then yeah, this could potentially help, but it's hard for me to say from experience at least. Okay, so I wanted to make a new work tree, and we want to say on the save slot screen, trap the focus between the 4 save slots. It should wrap around as well. Currently, the focus can go back to controls on the title screen, which is unexpected. All right, that should be pretty easy. Yeah, and then other considerations I would say in terms of number of keys, extra features you want, This general form factor has practically everything that you could expect. So like ZSA makes a Voyager keyboard. This has more keys, well, more keys in general, but fewer thumb keys. Then they have something like the Sofal, what, 58 or something like that. I don't know how many keys it has. Yeah, apparently 58. I didn't know if it was 51 or 58. This has even more keys on it and even more of these bottom keys. You've got something like the Ergodox that also has a ton of keys. So if you want more keys or different layouts of keys, then that's fine. The next keyboard I was thinking of eventually making is a Zimmy, because this has trackballs on each half. You could get it with an optional 6th column. It's got encoders on it. You could get track pads if you want. You need to build this yourself though. So yeah, all depends on what you're looking for exactly. But if all you want is like this style keyboard, which you want a different layout or a different number of keys or different features on it, like it probably exists. So yeah, you would then need to consider like, do you want to build it yourself? Do you want a pre-built one? Like this doesn't have a pre-built version, but there are sites like, I don't know, Beekeep or something, right? And another keyboard that looks pretty interesting to me at least is this. This is the Toucan, I believe. Yeah. So this has, yeah, they have a 36 key and a 42 key version. It's got like a trackpad on it. It's wireless. It's got an OLED screen. I think OLED screens are kind of a gimmick, but I think they'd be kind of nice for learning. My mouse actually has one on the side of it, and it can show the battery life. It's kind of nice, I guess. Hey, Fontable. Bought the Corn keyboard. Can't wait to try the Bluetooth version. Already configured your layout on my ZMK config. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, awesome. I hope you like it. Use it for a month, put it in storage, never to be seen again. Couldn't get used to it. Yeah, I also couldn't really get used to the Moonlander. I like the look of it. I like the look of the Voyager too. I just, yeah, this is the keyboard I settle on. And like I said, if I were to make another keyboard now, it'd probably be this one. And I don't even know for sure that I want to use a trackball. Keychron just released something called the Nape Pro, which looks pretty interesting. It is just a trackball and a few buttons on it, and you can put it in any arrangement along your keyboard. So like the bottom of it, you could arrange it like this, but you could rotate it, and it knows the orientation through the software. So it's not like you need to rotate how you're using the trackball. You just use it like you normally use it. So yeah, this looks kind of interesting. It's not cheap, and I think that this would only let me test, do I actually like a trackball? Because I've never used a trackball for longer than like 6 seconds. And I don't know, are they easy to get used to? Would I enjoy it? Would I need 2 of them? Would I ever use the one on the left hand, for example? Would I get like a trackpad and a trackball? I don't know. Yeah. And again, if these things were like, oh, it's $5 to configure, yeah, go buy one, $5, whatever. You don't use it, so what? But I'm not going to spend like $400 and then spend another $400 and be like, I want this tiny change. I don't want to do that. How's it going, Sean? And hey, Zachariah. All right, so this is apparently already done, and this was very easy to do. So yeah, let's just open this entire thing, huh? Is this selecting it? I think it is. I can't even tell. Yeah, apparently it was. A giant Lenovo track point. You need to like hammer down with your fist. Use all your force to press it. All right, so now we can press down on the bottommost slot and up on the topmost slot. This is exactly how you'd expect this to work. And left and right don't do anything. Sounds good. Cool. Let's check that in. We already have a function for this, so hopefully just use the function that I have. Trap focus among, or whatever it's called. Yeah, trap among. There it is. Easy. Easy peasy. Trap focus on a save slot screen. All right, done with that. Sounds we still got to do. I'm going to hold off on that for just a second here. Let's go do this now. I want to change how we... It's not really advertise. What is it? Like, make it... I want to make it clear how saving works to the player. When the game is done auto-saving at any continue point, it should render, what is it? Saved, game saved at the bottom right of the screen above every other UI element in the game. That message should have an outline so that it's visible against any background. It should show for 2.5 seconds. It should, yeah, fade in, show for 2.5 seconds, then fade out. If you go to the title screen while this is showing, then the text should go away immediately. However, if you change, can you even change subgames that fast? You probably can't. Probably won't be possible. Maybe it's just persist at, I don't know. I'll just let it figure it out. All right, so then what else did I want to do? Remove the, whoop. What's going on here? What is going on here? This is very weird sometimes. There we go. Okay. Remove the save game and load game buttons from the pause menu. They already shouldn't have done anything, but now they won't be needed. Game's done auto-saving at any continue point should render game save to the bottom right of the screen above every other UI element in the game. That message should have an outline so it's visible against any background. It should fade in over 2.5 seconds, then fade out. If you go to the title screen while this is showing, then the text should immediately go away. Game saved message should immediately go away. Actually, should it? Do I even care about that? I mean, if you go to the title screen almost immediately after the game saves and it still shows game saved at the bottom right of the title screen, isn't that okay? Then you know that your game saved. I think that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just be less prescriptive about this. Plus, how often will people do that? Like they get done with a game and then immediately quit it. And they quit it by going to the title screen and not just quitting the game. So yeah, we could just have it still show. Okay, let's trigger that. All right, so this is being done. This is all being done. Yep. At some point, use the guide it creates for Steam Cloud to actually set it up on Steam. Yeah, we'll write this down here somewhere. Set up Steam Cloud. And there we go. Read and then delete Steam Cloud. And set up Steam input. Read and then delete Steam input. Sure love how this happens. Right, clean it every once in a while. Oh man, it was kind of fun to clean those. Something I regret putting off till later. There's a lot of stuff I regretted putting off till later. But I think the important part for Steam Cloud was just knowing how to structure save files. So I wrote this somewhere in here. Synchronized. Yeah. Here. Like have your game saved to a folder structure like this. Save data, then the store platform, then local versus synchronized. And then when it comes to setting up Steam Cloud, I should just be able to point it at the synchronized files. I think. I'm not even certain anymore. But I am expecting it to be easier than it was the first time around. Okay, so customize this character sprite in the save slot based on which game you last played. All right, so let's go do that. I want to customize the character sprite used in the save slot UI based on which game you last played. Based on which game was last played in that specific save slot. For example, if the last game is the platformer, it will render the platformer character as it does now. If the last game was the farming game, it will render the idle facing down sprite used by farm player if the last game is the top-down shooter. Actually, should it be idle facing? How do I want to do this? Because the platformer can only face left or right. There is no facing down or facing up. So that's what we have right now. But in the farming game, we could have her facing left. I think I like facing down. Yeah. Okay, what about the top-down shooter? Because we should probably be consistent about the directions, right? What if she's shooting in the save slot? People will probably never see this stuff, though. That's the thing. They got to save the game and then return to the title screen after that specific game, and then they'd see it here. And do we want her to face right on this screen instead of left? Should probably match whatever the character customizer does, which is left. Yeah. Hey, Shimmy, thanks for the raid. Welcome, everybody. Give a Shimmy shout out here. What were you doing today? And howdy, everyone. I see a Counter-Strike bot. That was from 3 days ago, I guess. I don't see the... Oh, there it is. Oh, wait, no, that is from today. And some software dev. Okay, yeah. Yeah, what was the software dev part? Oh, you're trying out Godot? Yeah, what'd you think? I've been using Godot now for the last, like, 3 years or something. And I like it quite a lot. Are you just learning it, or are you trying to make a game right now? Or, like, trying to make a game by learning... Or, sorry, trying to learn by making a game, a small game. What else do we want to do here? So the last game is a top-down shooter. Use the idle facing down sprite with the gun. Yeah, etc. for the loot boxes or dungeon racer games. Okay, and then the only other thing we need to talk about is the size of these things. If the size of the sprite is smaller, so the size of the rendered sprite should be no larger than the platformer character's height. We should use the largest possible integral scale that we can to fill as much of the space as possible. If the farming character's sprite is only 16 pixels and we need to fill 50 pixels, then we'd use a scale of 3x. Okay, let's do this. Let's actually set this to a plan. Is there anything else I forgot here? It was just this idea. Yeah. All right, let's do that. Feels familiar? There are differences I need to digest. I'm doing both, learning by creating a game. Oh, cool. What's the game idea? And differences, I'm guessing, with something like Unity? Goals to build a game with a chat. It's hard if your chat is mostly silent. Yeah, I think it's just software and game dev in general to some extent. And it seems like it's gotten more co-worky than it used to be. But I think part of it has to do with how much you try fostering a conversation as you're developing. And it can be tough sometimes. The game we're working on here, for anyone new to this stream, is a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. Let me turn on the sound here. So yeah, this is the game. It's quite a wild name, but you start this game, you go through a simple character customizer, and then you are in your first broken tutorial, where it looks like just a regular game, but you work your way through this, you learn some basic mechanics about like dashing and jumping, and then you make it to here, and you get your first showcase of these mechanics, like try to collect all the diamonds. And you try, but you cannot succeed. And you see the first brokenness of this game, where you fall through the source code into another dimension. And this really sets the tone for the game of like, things are not as they appear. And you go into here. Hey, Tra. Thank you. You also address we with AI? You mean like as I say we? I mean, I guess I kind of include that. Like AI has helped with this. But if you're talking about something else, I do not understand the question. Hey, Patrick, is 71529? Yeah, I know that mage. Yeah, that might change at some point. Yeah, so now you're in a farming game. And this is a place where we can do a little bit more. Oh, I meant to choose the next one. This is where we can do some like kind of funny stuff. So normally in a farming game, you'd plant seeds, you'd water things, and those work how you'd expect. You might try using the sickle on some stuff. So like you can sickle the grass. But there are some funny interactions. So you might try using your axe on a tree. So you go over to the tree and you use your axe and you throw it. So ditching that axe is giving you the ability to run. So like this is a game that's broken in a lot of small ways. And if you go try collecting your axe again, it will run away from you and cut all the trees in its path. So you cannot get your axe back. And it'll eventually just go off the screen. But you can dig up anything in the world. So you can dig up trees. You can, let me speed this up. You can dig up like the fence. You can go into your house and dig up the furniture. You can dig yourself out of the wall over here and just leave through your, made up door that you have. So yeah, there's a lot of like little ways that this game is broken that are just kind of funny and goofy. So I love the idea of this game. The game in general, I mean, not necessarily the farming game. Okay, gotcha, Patrick. Yeah. Coming from web dev, PHP, Python, C++, jumped into Unreal because of the C++ aspect. Yeah, I haven't tried Unreal. It looks very powerful. And yeah, I think it would allow you to do things that were unfathomable like 15 years ago even, or would have been very, very difficult. Never let them know your next move. Yeah, essentially. Can you dig out the house? Not your own house, but you can dig out other houses. So when you get to town, you can dig up entire houses here. And even things like the lampposts, you can like not really go out of bounds, but you can dig your way out of like the boundaries of the world. You just keep digging around over here. I just added something where if you have the key, you can enter the community center. But the last playtester to play tried digging up the community center. So now you can dig up the door and just walk into it, at which point the key is worthless. And yeah, you can dig your way out of here. After you've talked to the guy who's in this house up here, you can dig that one up too. So there's a lot of like little small touches that maybe someone plays and just never explores any of these. Oh yeah, I gotta trigger the cutscene for this to happen. Whoops. All right, so now we gotta speed this up. Oh no, it never happens because Sidekick is not here. They're probably stuck trying to walk over here and can't. All right, so that soft locks the game, but that should never be possible in the actual game. It's only because I cheated to get here. Do you ever get back to the platformer? No. Could build stuff, move heavy objects, and destroy whatever I want. Too dumb to operate an excavator. I don't think you're giving yourself credit. Or dungeon crawler, RPG, crafting, survival games. But before I can work on those, I'm learning the basics. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to do that. Also, I think like game dev is going to be changing drastically in the next year or two. It already has. I mean, you can see me using AI for a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now. I streamed for like 11 years at this point, and I was just handwriting all of my code. And then for Skeleseller, I was handwriting all of it, except I was using AI for autocomplete. And now I'm using it agentically, like what you see here. And it's like, yeah, these ideas that I have, I just write as a prompt and then they're done. And I can move on to something else. So how should previews behave when focused? Animate idles, animate each available. Yeah, loot boxes stays on its standing frame. Yep, sounds good. Yeah, so that's a little bit weird because we don't have an animation for, oh wait, no, we do, but it's for walking. All right, well, we can potentially change that. I'll write that down over here. We may want to animate the loot boxes character with their walking animation on the save slot screen. When did I start using it? Probably about a few months ago. I'm not doing any of the art, actually. The art is almost entirely asset packs and Quickie Joe. So if you go to like this page, this is where the platformer character came from. And if you go to RPG, which one of these is it actually? I'm not sure. Oh, maybe they're both the same. Anyway, this is like the farming sprites that we used. And then, yeah, Quickie Joe is making him look like the main player. So we have this, her name is Player. This is Mara Kintsugi's style. So it's this character without the horns. So, like, that's our mascot now. She's the protagonist. But I did the music, I did the game design, I did some of the code before I started using agentic coding. All right, where's the plan? Use each healthy slot's persisted continue point to render the corresponding recolored player sprite. Preserve the current 80 by 60 preview, nearest neighbor rendering, monochrome empty slot, focus only animation behavior. Add this to save slot summary, populated from healthy save slot data. This does not change save file schema. Totally fine. Select a preview specification. All right, so yeah, facing down standing frame. I don't want to do that exactly. I want to use the walking frames when selected. Render direct sprite assets in the existing sub viewport rather than instantiating gameplay scenes. Animate only the focus preview. Fever Dream requires no separate mapping. Yeah. Okay, so don't implement this yet. So implement the plan, but for the loot boxes character, use their walking down animation when selected. And their standing facing down frame when not selected. Okay, now what do we have here? This is the game save stuff, and this is pretty simple. Okay, so let's check this into what we have now. Local checkout. Copy this. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we're pretty good. By the way, I'm going to see Odyssey tonight, finally. I was very hesitant because I don't like watching long movies in the theater. But my friends were raving about it, and my wife wants to see it. So we're going to finally go tonight. I think I'll enjoy it. I just also think I'm going to be dead tired by the end of it. It's weird to say that because all I'm doing is watching a movie. All right, so this is the, what is this? This is the game save notification. So we got to go into any of these things. Let's just delete this one. All right, new game. We accept. Oh, wait a second. This doesn't boot you back to the title screen now when you delete all the slots, right? It could, though. Oh, this is not good. Okay, yeah. When you start the game, okay, let's quit and try something. I might need to change this. What does it look like now? I mean, pretty much like what you saw. I type a prompt in, I go test this stuff out, I review the code. Yeah, this is broken. Okay, I gotta change this. When you don't have any save, or when you don't have save data in any slot, going to start game should start a game in the first save slot rather than take you to the save slot screen. Should take you to the character customization screen instead. All right, let's go back to this though and try this thing out. So if we hit accept, we should see, and I'm blocking with my camera, but if I turn that off, we should see a save progress or something down here. Let's take a look. It doesn't for this game. Maybe when we go into here. Well, not go into here, when we leave this. I gotta just wait for this. This is a very short amount of time. Get out. Okay, we should see game saved to the bottom right. Game saved. Yeah, it's not pretty text. And let's go to sleep over here. Oops. What just happened? There we go. All right, so if I pause this, it stays there. Oh, no, it doesn't stay there. So it is separate from that. If I go into the architect realm, it did not say game saved. But yeah, I think this is good enough for right now. Like I said, it's not perfect. Okay. Which version? IMAX, IMAX 3D, IMAX 4D? It's the 5D version. They actually inject the entire story just right into your brain. I don't know what version it is. I think it's an IMAX, but I think there are different aspect ratios to certain IMAX theaters, and I don't know which one we're seeing exactly. But to be honest, even if we saw it in like a regular theater, I think I'd probably still enjoy it. I mean, everyone says it changes the experience so much, but I've seen a couple IMAX movies and like, I guess they're good. I don't know. Maybe this will be different. All right, oh, and then we also deleted the pause menu buttons, right? I gotta go check that out. All right, so I just go in any of these and then press start. Nice. Look at how clean this is. So clean. All right, well, we're making progress. Let's go check this stuff in now. Save notification. Love it. Play. Failed to update. Just return. Sounds good. Save notification. This is directly in main. Yeah, that's fine. Pause menu. Got rid of these two buttons. Should be nothing there. We technically need to update our translation files, but I don't mind doing that later. And yeah, this is super simple, right? Yep. And at the end of this, we hide the label. Yeah. Now this fades out differently from how we normally do this. I'm okay with that. I don't think it really matters. And then save notification itself is just a label. Cool. Remove save/load buttons. They're no longer on the pause screen. Instead, after the game auto saves, it will show a save notification at the bottom right. Oh, can we have your face back? Yeah, sorry about that. Here you go. Hey, DevZone. Viewpoint. All right, so this is done. Now we are on this. Oh, wait, no, not that one. This one. Is it finished? Not quite yet. All right, so let's trigger another one of these. When you don't have any save, well, I already wrote this out as a prompt, right? Well, let's do that too. When you don't have save data in any slot, going to start game should start a game in the first save slot rather than take you to the save slot screen. It should take you to the character customization screen instead. All right. How are we doing on usage? 30% remaining. Yeah, again, I like intentionally used a ton yesterday. I used 59% because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a reset today because of this. I'll do another performative reset on Monday. So I'd be surprised if that doesn't end up happening. Oh, what's wrong here? Yep. I'm fine with that. I'm curious how that looks. Okay, so what do we have after that? It's testing for sound. So let's go see what we have right now in the game. I think we just need to figure out what we're going to do for deleting a save slot and like how the sound design should work. And it's not super important. Like I said, I don't know how many people are going to use save slots. I don't think this game is very replayable. And having save slots suggests that there's a reason for you to start a new game. Although actually I did joke about having a new game plus where it's just variations on how can you cross the gap. And then it just says like you beat the game in the gap in the platformer that you're not supposed to be able to cross. You can just keep changing the game in funny ways and have like 10 or 15 of these jokes. I don't know if people would like it, but I think it'd be funny. All right, what am I doing? Turning on the sound. And then turning up the sound. Yeah, that's good. So B doesn't work here. Why is that? I did this for a reason, but I don't remember what the reason was. Oh, because we had different selections for this stuff before? I'm fine with that either way. Yeah, so deletion does not have a sound effect. We need a sound effect deletion, or sound effect for deletion. So let's go over to here. Let's search for, oh, it's right there on the screen. Okay, so one of these is probably good. Well, I don't want the save slots to be broken. For one, you don't even see the save slots unless you come back to the title screen. Like the very first time you play the game, you should be able to ignore save slots existence, basically. Yeah, yeah, I'll have to see how it feels, but I don't think I want to do it. All right, these sound pretty good for deletion sounds. Do we have anything else here that might fit for it? This could work too. But I think one of these is probably better. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh my God. This looks horrendously bad with the colors that it shows. Oh, funny. All right, so do we already use this? Discard item 01. FFI. No, we don't. Okay. And I'll have it make sure. But play the attached sound when you delete a save slot. Make sure a sound by that name doesn't already exist in the code or in the assets somewhere. What else did I want to do? I wanted to potentially play a sound that like it's gonna get deleted. I don't know what that would sound like. It had to be something we can repeatedly play. So it had to be a looping sound. I don't think we have like a looping. I mean, we can search for a loop. We have a bunch of looping sounds. We just don't have something for this specific case. Like that could work. This is your, I'm going to delete the save file. You hold down the button. It plays that and then like a swoosh sound for it getting deleted. It sounds kind of interesting. Honestly, something like that's probably best. I kind of associate fire with like you're going to delete this thing. That could also potentially work. But that's annoying. Oh my God, there's so many of these. I'm not going to listen to all of these. I didn't realize there were that many. Yeah, let's just go with the fire one at the beginning. That's also not bad. I don't know. Yeah, I think we just go with the very first one. I'm gonna go with this. Wraith float loop. Play the attached sound. Discard item. While in the process of deleting a slot by holding the button down. We should play this, I guess. Play the second attached sound on loop. stop that sound when the deletion is complete or the player stops holding the button. Okay. Sounds a bit like crumpling a piece of paper. We might use that. There was another burn one of these somewhere. Why is it not playing? And maybe this one? I don't know. The other thing to keep in mind is there's going to be music playing at the same time. So anyway, let's trigger this, and then let's go take a look at these other ones. So this is done. Let's check this. Oh, whoops. I'm still on some new branch, right? Drat. Get switch main. Get merge this. Okay. I hope that's not going to bite me. Get log -1. No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't bite me. Okay, let's check this out. Yeah, we're gonna write to merge that. Are we good? We good. All right, let's try it out. So now based on where you last saved, you will have a different sprite on the screen, on the save slot screen. So let's start a new slot and give them, I want to customize the hair and the shirt and just that. Yeah, let's just go, yeah, shirt blue, whatever. Great, save. Okay, so that one's done. Now we go make a pink and pink. Cool. And we go to, actually it doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's just set up the colors for now. And then let's make green and green. This is just to make sure we've got some kind of like color identity going on over here. And then for this one, we'll go with yellow, I guess. Yellow and yellow. Okay, now we quit out of that. Actually, just quit the whole thing. And go into the save slots that we have. Snooze this ad that's about to start. So save, synchronized. Oops. What? Oh, development. Synchronized. All right, so slot 2 is going to start in the farming game. Done. Slot 3. So it's farming, 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 top-down shooter. And then slot 4 is going to be in the loot box game. Okay, let's go try it. So now we should see 4 different characters on the save slot screen, and they should be all the colors that we had: blue, pink, green, yellow. Yeah, nice. Wow. All right, and then they should be animated if we select them. Very cool. I don't think that's how the animation is supposed to look, but it's good enough. I think it just needs to give the impression of where you left off here. All right, and then there's one more character that we test by changing slot 1 to be 7. And then restart this. And it'll be the Dungeon Racer player. Nice. I don't recall if that was the set of colors I used, but probably was. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so that's a small touch that I think will be appreciated by people who see the screen, which I don't think will be every player. There will probably be some number of people who just beat it in one sitting. And the people who don't probably won't have other slots here. So it looked like this and this and this. So you just see your main character here and none of these ones. But yeah, pretty nice. Looks good. Yeah, animated frames. That's fine. Yeah, so the loot boxes character is... Oh, no, it is done correctly. Wow. Wow, indeed. Brief definition. This is fine. Cool, cool, cool. So every time we make a new sub game, we got to add this on as well. Need some more content. No, 13 seconds is a good play time. I think people will be very happy with that. Rename. What is this complaining about? It says typo. I don't care about that. Let's say files stored in local SQLite database or directly in the file system. Just directly in the file system. They're just JSON files. And I'll come in CHS. So I want people to be able to modify their own save files because this is a single player game. And that's what we did for Skeleseller too. I think if we, what did I call this? Maybe I just got rid of it. Yeah, I did just get rid of it. Although if I just tried doing this right now, I should probably do this differently in the future. Anyway, for Skeleseller, if we go over here, we have save.json. Yeah, I wanted people to be able to fix any problems they might find in here. Maybe they're like, you know what, let me give myself more mana or give myself more money or something. So yeah, it's come in handy. As opposed to storing it in a SQLite database and then being like, okay, go download this program or run this command that I give you and it's going to interact with your database, but I need to like find out where we saved the file in the first place. And maybe you're on some like old schema or something. And yeah, it's easier to just be like, open the file, search for money, change it to 1 million. Plus the amount of times we save, there's no real performance problem. There's hardly any data we need to save. So yeah, it's just easier to do things this way. All right, this looks fine. What do we have over here? Also fine, and then a test change. Yeah, this is all pretty reasonable. So change save slot sprites based on last played game. When you leave off at the farming game, it'll show the farming character's sprite. Just a nice little polish feature. Let's go check that in. Get switch main or what? Oh, I'm in the wrong tab. I'm like, that's not possible. Cool. All right, done with that. And now we just have these things to look through in a little bit, but I got to take my break. So this is done. And yeah, where I left off, review the agent's code. How are we doing on usage now? 26%. Well, the goal was to burn through this pretty much. Okay, I will be back in just a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello, hello. Hey, Strawn. Close the game. Hey, there's always next time, right? All right, review the code. Let's go take a look. Fix save games flow with no save slots. Reserve slot 1 opens character customization directly. Existing corrupt or incompatible saves. Still open that. Build succeeded. Yeah, cool. All right, how much did this actually change? Just title screen and that's it. And it tried changing this. Yeah, tried changing this. And it's just this code inside on start game pressed. On start game pressed. Easy. Easy. Yeah, easy. Six seconds. Is it better if you refresh? I mean, the latency, you need to look at the advanced stats or whatever it is. All right, so we don't have a save slot here and we choose start game. Yeah, that works. So there is technically a way for you to start a slot and only have like slot 4 saved. But you need to have deleted a slot to begin with. I wonder if that should be some kind of like secret in the game. Save, development, synchronized. Yeah, slot 4. Cool. You need save slot meta. All right, so this is skip save slot screen when there's no save data. So that's done. And the final one here is this. Add deletion sounds. Pull this code into my local branch without committing. I'm just going to do this. I'll give this to Terra Medium. When are they running that reset today? They said they'd do it. They said they were going to do it. I really don't mind all that much. I have a reset that's going to expire anyway at some point this week, and I don't know how much AI stuff I'm going to do. I was thinking about this. I read online every once in a while that like, oh, hey, a reset's coming up. I'm on my 10x plan and I burn through it all in a day. And I'm just thinking like, how do people do this? And every once in a while they share what they're working on. Like, oh, I converted my code base from Python to Rust. And it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I get how that would take a long time and that might take a lot of tokens. But that's not the kind of task you do every week. So like they must have a lot of automated processes, like whenever I push code, review it automatically or fix bugs automatically or document something. Or next week I convert from Rust back to Python. And the boulder never makes it up the hill. I would apply uncommitted save. Yeah. So yeah, this is kind of how I planned today to go. It's going how I expected. And we are making progress. I mean, a lot of this has been on the save slot screen so far, which is not, I mentioned this earlier today, it's not the most important thing. And it's not even a screen everyone will see in the game. It's like the title screen everyone has to go through. You cannot start a new game otherwise. You know, the first level, the second level, whatever, all those things are things people have to see. Then there are things like, oh, the control rebind screen. Like, yeah, a lot of players will probably see that. We need to have it. I think that's pretty important. But this is not important, and I already know it. Hey, Andre, thank you for the resub. Happy 53 months. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Almost accidentally burned through my entire quota on Claude. They're doing 1/review on a 1K line PR. Wow. Yeah, I was trying to do as much as I could yesterday. The problem I have is it's like coding is one part of the process. I guess just is the important word here. So it's like figuring out which tasks to even do and then figuring out how you want to do it. Then, yeah, coding it. Then reviewing it both from the code and the feature perspective. And I mean, I guess testing it at some point too, which is part of reviewing it. But yeah, there's so much overhead in these parts and in the reviewing part. it's like, yeah, writing the prompt is not difficult. In fact, I enjoy doing that. And I like the feature review usually. Oh, I guess any iteration that you do. Yeah, that's another part that could potentially be rough. Anyway, this is giving me my files onto the local. This will just save me a couple of clicks, which I was expecting to be faster. All right, so let's go try this out. We got to turn on audio, and then we just have to try deleting a save slot. And I have it set to only be 1 second long, so we won't be able to hear the looping, so we might need to turn that off for a bit. But if I unmute this, and we make a new slot here, and we go to the title screen so we can delete it. Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good indeed. I like it. Okay, let's go change the debug time. Save slot. Here it is. Debug, delete, hold seconds. Let's set this to 3 for a sec so I can hear it. First part's decided by me. Second part is AI driven. Oh, yeah. I meant on a personal project where you're the one controlling kind of everything. I know you're not using AI on your own game right now, but if you were, it'd be like, you can't just blow through an entire day's worth of AI easily sometimes. Okay, so let's listen. Well, let's make another save slot and then let's listen. So return to title, turn this off, go over to here. Wow, that almost perfectly aligns. That sound file must be exactly 1 second long, right? It was this one down here. Open with Audacity. It doesn't need to be 1 second long. It just must be. Oh, they loop it within the file. Okay, so one loop is like 1 point. I don't understand what I'm looking at right now. I've never understood this. No, maybe it is 1 second long. I don't understand how to read time. Oh, beats and measures. That's why I can't ever read time, because it's not in time. It's in beats and measures. Okay. So yeah, it is roughly 1 for 1 cycle. It's like 1.1. It's 10% off. But yeah, it's pretty good. I like that a lot. Oh my God, I never knew that. I was always like, why can't I ever make sense of this? Now it makes perfect sense. And then charge the company. Wow. Yeah. If they have any extra quota, then they could probably just use it for themselves. The company would never know. Bypass attenuation. Yeah, it shouldn't really matter, but I think it's fine. Stop sound. Oh, interesting. Passing a stream ID. Reset, delete, hold, stop, delete, hold sound. This is on exit tree. Yeah, I guess that's necessary. This got moved? Because I saved the file? Ugh. Okay, cool, cool. Good, good. If it's invalid, return. Otherwise, stop it and set it to invalid. I mean, can't we just have stop sound work with an invalid ID? Nah, we could. I don't think it matters. Okay, that looks nice. Sound ID should have added 2 entries. Yep. And then we added in our sound files. Nice. So add sounds for deleting save files, save slots. Okay, so when all said and done, it's hard to estimate exactly how long this took, but let's say it was approximately 1 day for save slots. If I had done this for Skeleseller, I think I would have taken longer than a day. And it's not too late to just go back and add them to Skeleseller, but I don't think people really care at this point. All right, nice. Okay, so prevent the Godot stopped working macOS dialogues from appearing. They happen super often and they're not very helpful. 1.4 plus 0.1 is 2. Maybe if they showed it with different notation and not a decimal point, it'd be less confusing. They're like 1M4B or something. I'd be like, oh, that's not a time. I've never seen that on a clock before. All right, how do we do this? Mac OS stop Yeah, quit unexpectedly errors. This person shared a terminal command you can use. Defaults write Apple Crash Reporter. Use UNC1. Is there a way to read about this? I don't know why Apple doesn't have some like page of all the defaults that shows up. Hey, Mahmoud Kumar. YouTube is kind of dead in these types of streams, I think. Yeah. Part of the reason why is because I require people to be, I think, subscribed for like 5 or 10 minutes. Because YouTube chat is generally garbage if I don't do that. Like, there might be people watching on YouTube right now, but they're not able to chat unless they subscribe. And like I said, that was intentional. If I open the floodgates again, I just end up, I don't know what it is. It's something about YouTube specifically. It's like that chat quality there is lower from new people. Dialog type none. What does this use UNC? I'm trying to figure out what that even means. Removing crash reporter may be overkill. Another option is to change it to a notification. Oh, that's kind of interesting. The problem is, do notifications cause a full screen app to stop being full screen? Is there a way you can like Mac OS send notification from terminal? Yeah. Can I do that? Display notification with title. Okay, yeah, so let's try that. Display notification hello world with title. Is that capitalized? No. With title hello. That did not work. Did I type that wrong? No. Notification. You can do this using Apple scripts. Oh, I need to run it with the OS script dash. Yeah. Okay. Got it. And I put this whole thing in quotes. Yep. All right. I did not get a notification, but it's possible that something with OBS caused it to not show up. Or like I'm in focus mode or something. Is that possible? I need to look into this at some other point. All right, fine. Well, yeah. I guess I'll just look into this on a different day. I may need to test this when I'm not streaming. I'm not sure if OBS or focus mode or something is on. But like test a notification like this and then change the crash reporter to use notifications to see if it will change how the game renders. And then change the crash reporter is this command. Okay, great. So that's it for now. Let's move this down to, oops, I need to put all that stuff there at the end. Let's put all this down to the Tuesday afternoon section. All right, use controller glyphs instead of pressing this. We're finally getting to the rest of the Friday list. Make sure we satisfy what Steam would need to say that we have perfect Steam Deck support requirements. Oh, we need to update this on Steam itself. We need to make sure the Steam page indicates that we have full controller support. Finally do. Yeesh. Okay, make an Obsidian note about controller support for Steam games. I have one. I just didn't really do anything with it, did I? Controller support. If you're... Didn't we have something here about the whole Steam... Oh, man. I don't know where that would even be. Probably here. I think I asked a question to this a while ago about like, how do you... Can you use the Steam API for something like itch? And I think it told me in the plan. Can I copy this? Steam's API requires a Steam client. Yeah. Steam's API requires the Steam client. So if you distribute through other game stores, you can't. You'll also need your own like control rebinding UI. Then again, other stores don't necessarily have the same stringent requirements that Steam does for to say that you have full controller support. So you could always make a judgment call. How has Sucky Task Tuesdays been working out? Pretty well. So right now we're in this stabilization phase. So I did checkpoint 2. I did 5 play tests. I got all that stuff. And now we're in stabilization phase. So I'm probably not doing like no specific Sucky Tasks Tuesdays and no specific like music Thursdays. We'll probably just do what I consider stabilization stuff. And in essence, every task is Sucky Task Tuesday. So like I started setting up the Steam page for Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. I did not finish this because we need some more artwork. But here is our, we got a few screenshots. We got a little blurb here. We got some of the capsule art. I put some videos on this page. This is not public yet. I made the website. This is really, really basic because we don't have a trailer and we don't have a Steam page yet. And I got done with some of these like, yeah, controller glyphs and everything else. I did not want to do that. And I'm glad AI could help with it. But yeah, it was not going to be a fun task. So it is pretty cool though now to see this. Like if I'm using the controller, it says A, return to title screen, X, delete slot. I move the mouse, it changes to escape in 2. I press the controller again. So like this changes on the fly. It shows up in the actual game itself. These also change on the fly. So it says press space, now it says press B. They actually match the controller you have plugged in, so you could change them to different glyphs like the Steam controller. Apparently that looks like an A as well, but if I change it to PlayStation, it definitely looks different. Now it says press X to jump. So yeah, it's pretty neat that this just works. I bet if I go to this game, yeah, I press square to place a bomb. So like, it's just cool that we can do this. Disappeared almost immediately. So either you missed it because it was quick or it was indeed OBS, but it works. It just disappeared super quickly, you said? Okay, yeah. This may quit very quickly. So maybe I need some kind of sticky flag or a time or something. Yeah, anyway, so my whole point in sharing that stuff was like, these are what I would consider sucky tasks that we're just doing on a Friday or a Thursday or something because it's stabilization phase. But eventually we're going to get back to working on checkpoint 3. The goal for that is I think November 6th or something. And I've got some ideas for games, but I still haven't figured out the games for a couple of the asset packs that I have. And I've really struggled with them. So maybe this Wednesday we'll do more game design stuff. I think it's probably a good idea. Yeah. We also need a game where you play as Sidekick that's not really a game. Because it's going to be when Sidekick is like losing his mind. All right, what was I doing? Forgot. Oh yeah, this stuff. All right, so this is done. This is done. This is done. Almost done. Yeah, I gotta write this down. This was because Steam has this requirement. The Steam input configurator screen uses in-game actions that the player performs in your game instead of keys or buttons. Yeah, I think, man, I'm a little tiny bit worried. I'm not like really worried about this, but when I submit this game for review by Valve, this game is like weird enough that I probably need some caveats here. So as an example, they say you should use in-game action. So like cast spell as an in-game action. or dash or jump or something. These are actions you perform in your game. So you say like A is jump and B is dash, something like that. Well, the problem is we're gonna have like 15 sub games. So A is jump, shoot, like cast spell, play card, move character, whatever, all these different things. And I don't want to list those out like that because I don't want to spoil what's going to happen. So instead, I want to sum all this up as like A is your main action, like jump. And then that's it. But yeah, Valve might push back on that. I'm not totally sure how much they care, but yeah. But this would be a lazy thing to do if all you were making is a platformer. If you just said like main action and B is like secondary action, you'd be like, well, what do those things mean? Could just say jump and dash or jump and attack or something. All right, what else do we have here? You publish an official configuration. Excuse me, Steam Big Picture. I need to automatically pause the game. We did all that stuff. I think we also hid the mouse cursor. Let's go make sure that's the case. So if I start the game using the mouse and I stop touching everything here, the mouse is showing. If I start moving the controller, the mouse hides. If I start moving the mouse again, it stays showing. Yeah, perfect. Okay, yeah, it's already working then. Great. Need to support keyboard glyphs. Show something based on what was last pressed, last meaningful input. Yep. Add a settings page. We did that. Maybe a good idea to tackle rebindable controls. We did that. Need custom component for this since each canvas item. We did this. Probably a flow container. I don't need that anymore. We need to hide the mouse cursor. We did that. Could use fonts. I don't want that. Yep. Make sure the text in the platformer has it. I don't think the thing about the farming game. All right, unpin codex chat about controller glyphs. Now that's a kind of to-do item I am appreciative of. Nice. Oh yeah, and then pay for the Kenny assets. Yeah. I think it's a good idea. I'll do this tomorrow, I think. Add in the credits. You can pay directly through a site. Yeah, I will just write this down. And I need to add to the ledger and add to monetary costs in the design document. Architect. Cast spell / secondary action. Yeah, I think it'd be a little unclear that way. Like, I think you need to indicate that it's your main action. For example, jump. But my concern wasn't that players wouldn't understand it. My concern is that Valve might not be okay with it. Okay, sounds good. Use controller glyphs instead of just saying this. Journal, we did. At least I think I filled that out. Yep. I mean, might as well fill out today. What's on the plan for tomorrow? I'm waiting for this to finish. There we go. Worked on getting through to-do items. Is this reset yet? Nope. 25%. Character count is this. Doing all this stuff. Notification appeared for like 0.1 seconds. Wow. Okay, so I think we just keep working our way down the list. Address playtest feedback. Yeah. Man. I'm only hesitating because I don't want to do it. It's not like I'm confused or something. It's just all of this work is it's like it's not fun work. And I think we need to sprinkle in some fun work throughout. So maybe this afternoon we'll try to like tackle tasks I actually want to do. Tackle some tasks I actually want to do because otherwise I'll go crazy. Maybe we do some game design in the afternoon. Well, for now, I shouldn't be complaining. Let's just do the stuff we have to do. All right, control rebinding UI doesn't have proper translation. Search for controls move up. They used to. Aren't there a bunch of problems like this? Yeah. There are translation keys like this. Oops. And generic menu okay. That don't have translations associated with them. Something must have gone wrong somewhere in the commit history, since we have translations commented out in the .po files. Fix this. Yeah, I'll have this run locally. All right, change the AI disclosure. Let me go find that. I think it's on the store page. Yeah, it's right there. It'd be good to learn your design and dev process with game design. One thing I'm finding as I'm trying to learn is there's so much to do. It's paralyzing. It's like diving into deep ocean and trying to figure out the direction to get to land. Yeah, I think. Oh, what happened here? When I think of game dev, I think that each individual aspect of it, if you just consider it at a high level, you've got code, you got art, you got music, you got sound, game design, maybe storytelling, and probably some other things I'm forgetting here. But anyway, all of these on their own are not like, oh, I'll just pick that up in a weekend and I'm great at it now. In fact, none of these are like that. And some of them are really hard to do in isolation. Like game design is its own entire art, I would say. But you can't really just do game design and learn how to improve from that. You need to, at some point, turn them into games or prototypes to find out, was it fun? Because it's so hard to gauge game design on its own. It's kind of the same thing with storytelling, at least in video games. It's like you can come up with a story in isolation. Novels, books exist, right? But when you play it out in a game world, it changes the impact of it a little bit. It's kind of like art and music in that sense. Like you can make game art, but how does it look in the game? Does it fit the animation speeds that you want? Does it fit the timing of things? Does it have the right weight and impact? So yeah, all of these are pretty in-depth. I don't try to focus on all of them. I try to focus on code and music and game design, and to some extent, I guess, storytelling. But like, I've never really made sounds, or if I have, they've been really basic. I don't even bother trying to do art. Yeah, that stuff just eludes me. So yeah, I think it's like pick a subset that you're happy with working on and do that, and then try to find ways to fill in the gaps. So art, for example, yeah, finding asset packs is easy enough. I think it's never sufficient, or almost rarely is it sufficient. Like even if you get something that's almost custom made for a game, you're making a tower defense game and you get this and you're like, oh my God, there are units, there are buildings, there are towers, there are resources, there are enemies you can get. It's like, okay, well now what if you want flying enemies? There aren't any. So like, okay, now you got to match their art style. And if you weren't a good enough artist to do this in the first place, then it means you need to hire someone anyway. Now, granted, it's cheaper to hire someone to match an art style and add like 2 more enemies that are flying than it is to do all this stuff from scratch and come up with it. Downside being that other games might look like yours in the end if you use the asset pack. But yeah, for Skeleseller, for example, so Quickie Joe did a lot of the artwork for this. But what we started with was Super Retro World from Itch over here. It was like $50 for a mega bundle that existed. And yeah, it's got some like farming artwork, some market artwork, some different battle stuff. We didn't use it all. But yeah, now as a result, look, Skeleseller shows up on this page. It's like, hey, this game was made using this asset pack. And yeah, I think overall it worked pretty well. And if you look at these other games, it's like, you can tell they use the same asset pack, but they don't resemble Skeleseller at all. Like you could say maybe this looks like the town, but the gameplay doesn't look like it's similar. And yeah, then you look at the next screenshot and it's like, okay, they had to make custom art for this stuff. Or another asset pack, I guess. And yeah, this one, oh, this doesn't even exist anymore? What? Suncraft? Can you not even go to this? Suncraft Steam. Huh, that's weird. It doesn't show on their page anymore. Oh, it shows here. Okay, weird. I don't know. But yeah, you look at the art for this game and it's like, yeah, again, looks very different. Wow, this game did very well. Oh, it only just launched. Oh, neat. It only just launched. How much are they charging? Yeah, they started theirs at $7. I think if I'd started Skeleseller at $7, it would have probably done better. But good for them. Yeah. And hey, good for the, for Jeff who made this stuff. Like to have a bunch of games that actually use your artwork. I think it goes a long way in showing, hey, this is legitimate. All right, so then I want to change this. I am losing a little bit of steam. Don't have characters for this. Should I find a font that has these? We're just using the font that I have here, which as you can see is literally just letters and numbers. There's no punctuation. Wait a second. There's no punctuation. Doesn't that mean that we don't have parentheses when you're falling? Do I have a picture of this? No, I don't. And I can't run the game right now unless this is done. Let's try it. I didn't even notice the lack of parentheses. You think I would? Wait a second. What? There's symbol. Okay, it's really hard to read this, but there are symbols showing here. Oh, maybe this is just a preview and they have more in the font than what I'm seeing here. And let's double click this. No, that's not true. All right, I don't know how it's doing that then. Yeah. Hey, Flame. I'm new here. Have a question. As a solo game engineer, do you need to be kind of a full stack developer who's designing levels, logic, UI, creating functionality? Hey, welcome in. I just kind of talked about this a little bit. Like, you can pick what you want to do and then have someone else fill in the rest. So, like, let's say you're making a platformer game and you've done everything. You've made like the engine, you've made the art, you've made the sound, you made the music, but you're like, oh man, levels, like I can't do that. I don't know what to do. It's like you could find someone else. You could say, hey, look, I already made all this stuff. Here's some tools for you to use, and then they go plug in the levels. So I think you are still kind of the Uber person coordinating all of this. So like now you need to go manage someone, you need to find someone, you need to potentially pay that person, you need to set up whatever contracts you need. But like, yeah, you don't have to do all this stuff. What do I feel most comfortable in? So yeah, the things I have stars next to: code, music, game design. Those are the things I'm most comfortable in. So yeah, I think it is tough. You do sort of need to be a full stack developer, but yeah, you can farm out whatever you are not comfortable with. Because learning some of these skills would take you potentially longer than you want to spend. So like if I were to start doing artwork, I think I could eventually get to be good at artwork. I just think it would take me years. And I don't want to be spending years learning art to make a game when I could just have a professional artist do this stuff. So how is this even working? What is that character? It looks like a parenthesis, but it's not. I don't understand what that is. Because all we have is that hex font here. Huh. Yeah, I don't understand, but we're going to need a different font for this anyway. I suppose a pixel art font is fine. Although nothing stops us from using just a regular font. It wouldn't be monospace though. We probably just need a pixel art font with punctuation. Yeah, somehow, I guess it's falling back to a system font that has those, but it can't fall back to a system font that has an ampersand. It just feels like there's a problem if that's what's happening. Let's just try something really fast. Let's go make a label and give it a font and type hello world parenthesis ampersand. What happens? How are there parentheses in here? I don't understand how this is happening. Maybe this is not the entire font. I don't get it. Yeah. What happens when I click this? Okay, never mind. I thought it rendered every glyph it could. It apparently only renders the alphabet, uppercase, lowercase, and the numbers. So yeah, this has more than I thought. And that explains how we're getting punctuation. So we're just missing ampersand and probably a pipe. No, we're not missing a pipe, just an ampersand. Okay, well, we could just draw in an ampersand. That's probably the easiest way to fix this. Yeah. Are we missing anything else? If I just like copy paste some code. Let's go to base platformer game and just paste this in here. This is gonna be a gigantic string. Do any other characters not render? No, we have angle brackets, we have slashes, question mark, underscore. Yeah, I don't see any other problem except for ampersands. We even have percent signs. Why would there not be an ampersand in here? Maybe it's too hard to draw an ampersand in a pixel font. I mean, not all these characters look great, but it doesn't matter. Also, man, curly braces are like arrows. I get because you can only render so much in a tiny space. Yeah, so that sticks out like a sore thumb. But I don't see any other ones where that happens, right? It'd be kind of funny if the fix here was don't use ampersands in that code file. Like just put 2 nested if statements. Done, problem solved, no need for new font. Oh, thanks, Luxurium. Yeah. Appreciate it. Wonder if it's difficult to draw. Yeah, it might be. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, that answers that question. So we just need ampersands. We don't have a character for ampersand in the font, so it shows a Unicode character. We do have all other characters that I use, though. So we just need to fix that. Worst case scenario, find a different font or nest if statements. So we don't use ampersands. We could actually change the .txt file to just say and. No one would notice. Replace it with an 8 or something. Yeah. Or replace it with an 8 or something close enough. Yeah. I think just replacing with the word and is probably fine. Because we check this in as a txt file here. So like if we just search for the ampersands and type out and, it'd be okay. Yeah. And that's probably easier than changing the font. We could even dynamically replace ampersand with and then any remaining ampersand with and then tell AI not to update that file. All right, what are we looking at here? So did it tell me why this happened, and has this reset yet? Still no. 24%. All right, let's go take a look at what it said. Dynamically stored control keys for script extraction in input action catalog. Oh, they weren't marked for extraction? Oh, that's a problem. Okay. Migrated existing English and French, restored that, removed stale, commented control duplicates. Okay, yeah. Sounds pretty good. I guess let's go try it out. And we had 2 problems here, right? Control rebinding and generic menu okay. We can't see generic menu okay though, but we can see control binding. Here it is, and yeah, this looks good. I just noticed that the focus is clipped on the side. Nothing's ever easy, is it? Nothing is ever easy. What do we have, like a negative margin? How's this even possible? You embrace it as a glitch within a glitch? Yeah, that's true too. I guess it's not a big deal. The focus here goes beyond the container. Maybe we just need some margin. All right, well, this is done. I'm going to just assume the generic menu okay is done. We'll eventually see it. Hey, Rylan. You almost done? No, it's going to take another probably 1.5 years or so. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So this is reasonable. We now have mark for extraction on all of these. We technically could just use TR for this, right? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But yeah, all this looks fine. Oh god, we use them again here. Control screen and input action catalog. Okay, sure. Sure. Looks good. Well, it looks good except for what happened to the move control up? Oh, it's at the bottom of this file. Yeah. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Then this all changed. Whoa, did it translate this? Okay, I never asked it to do that. Man, I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. You should probably mark these fuzzy at the very least. Yeah. Very funny. All right, there we go. It probably, yeah, it did this in a lot of places. It like actually translated it. Oh man. All right, I don't want any of that. I should just tell AI to mark them all fuzzy at this point. Yeah, who needs it? Who needs it? Okay, cool. So fix translation issues. The LLM actually translated some of this to French. So I tried to mark them all as fuzzy. So at some point, we got to actually localize the game. I don't even know if I have an issue for this. Nope. All right. Yeah, let's just do it here. Localize the game. We should have most of the machinery in place. We need to do a couple of things. Allow for localizers to test their own language right from Weblate. I should make some tooling for this. And changes they made on Weblate. And yeah, find translators. Make sure none of the strings in the translation files are already done. They should all be marked fuzzy. Ask translators, though, if they want me to run an LLM pass. Honestly, it's probably going to be even better than it was the last time. But yeah, so that's done. So let's go mark this. This one. And then what's this? Change of wording on this message. The save file could not be created. The save file could not be created. Here, after retrying, please report this bug. Save file cannot be created. Please report this bug. You can continue playing, but progress will not be saved until a later checkpoint succeeds. You continue playing and will try to continue saving, but it may fail again. Yeah, that's probably a little bit better. Save file cannot be created. Please report this bug. You can continue playing and we'll try to continue saving, but it may fail again. Yeah, that's good enough. Change save failure message. All right, done with that. All right, so fix this. Let's go copy all of that. Give me 1 sec. I'm back. All right, so the controls in the top-down shooter when using the keyboard render like this. W, left, down, right. I want this to... The problem is that the controls are bound like this, which why are they bound like that? Is it because that's what I did in the project settings? It probably is. I'm probably just being a dum-dum here. Up W. Right D. Left A. Down S. No, they're in the same order. You can't even rearrange these, can you? No, you can't. Why is W special? What? Huh. Well, it's in local. Slot 1 settings. Maybe it's because of the order inside of this file. I want it to render either WASD or up, down, or up, left. Wait a second. God, why do I need to look at a QWERTY keyboard every time? I think I could picture this by now. Left, down, right. Yeah. Not a mix of the two. Why is this happening? Yeah. Okay, so this is being worked on. The glitchy code, I think if I just use Glyph Studio, I could probably change this myself. Oh, I have to draw the glyph? No, that's not how this works. This is a bitmap font, right? It's a true type font? Okay, well, that's not what I expected. All right, so drag this over here. And do we see an ampersand? Nope, it's blank. So do I have enough skill to be able to draw this? How does this work? Each glyph is made of a bunch of boxes in a grid. Yeah, I should be able to do this. Telepathic gaslighting. The worst kind of gaslighting. Yeah, so the real skill here is how do you draw this in a 4x4 grid, I guess? Is that how everything's supposed to fit? Yeah, so there's like one leading space here. Can we just draw an E with a line through it? They drew this, but they didn't draw an ampersand. Oh man, it's the one character that's not here. Why wouldn't they draw it? Hey, retired android. Top 2 on the left are unfilled, and the top 3 on the right are unfilled. Wait, what? What is it? Are you saying like how I should fill in a 4x4 grid? So you're saying top 2 on the left are unfilled, and top 3. Oh wait, I see like this. And top 3 on the right. Like that? That's not bad. I was thinking of something more like... Oops. What was I thinking of? Maybe... like that? It doesn't really look like an and, does it? Yeah, I don't know. Wait a second. This is bigger than with the use of the other ones. I could just draw a larger character, right? Yeah. 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 I could just do a 5 by 5. Does that even make it easier? Well, let's look at an ampersand for reference. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'll probably just tell AI to do this. Happens because movement is rendered as 4 unrelated primary bindings. Checked in defaults are consistently arrow first for all 4 directions. Therefore, this exact screenshot means the runtime persistent binding have W as primary up. Wait. Did I do this? Did I mess this up? Is this my problem? So if I just make a new game and hit accept and go to the top-down shooter and press this. No, it's not my problem. This happens with a new save file. Yeah, this happens from a brand new save file with no... I did not rebind the control. Changing the defaults would not be sufficient. They're already consistent. Okay, so let's do this. And then, yeah, just do an 8 with a tail. Oh, wait, they drew this differently because they're contiguous. You know, I am kind of curious if AI can do this. It's literally just drawing an ampersand somewhere. Let's see. Given the attached font, I need the ampersand character to be filled in. All the patterns used for the other glyphs, you can use up to a, like a 5 by 5 space, I guess. Where did I even see this? On the website? Characters. Isn't there a way to go between characters quickly? Yeah, there it is. Next item. All right, so the letters I don't care about. Let's just skip all those. And the numbers I don't care about. It's here. So what's the largest one of these? 4 by 4. These are pretty small. Then we get to numbers again. Are the numbers there twice? Wait, what? Didn't I click next item when I was over here somewhere and we got the numbers again? Digit 1. Yeah, how did that happen? It's like it went backwards. All right, we also have these currency symbols. That's funny. And yeah, that's it. By the way, this only ever needs to be in English. It's got to be exactly what I typed. So this will never get translated. That's fine. You use up to a 5 by 5 grid like the pound character uses. How about this? Just whatever. It's already in the repo. Modify hex font TTF to create an ampersand character. Follow the patterns used for the other glyphs. You can use up to a 5 by 5 grid like that uses. Yeah. I don't actually want to run this yet, though. I want to fix this one first. Oh, by the way, I have my own site open here because I wanted to change this I wrote out some like huge prompt of, oh hey, let's cut this down to just static pages. There doesn't need to be a login. We don't need like a course database. And then I realized this entire site can just be Obsidian notes. Like I have notes at adamlars.com already. I can just have the site point to something in here, and it could have all the same data that it already has. Right? I could just say like, here are all the courses that we used to have. Here are the links. Here's the code. Here's the notes. And then I could have my blog posts, which I don't think anyone even cares about. And they could even have the same URL, probably. That I'm not sure about. But like, I don't need images in here. I'll just have the contents of it somewhere. So yeah, I decided not to move forward with that yet. I think a big part of my issue for today and why I feel like I'm sluggish is that I really shouldn't have worked yesterday. And I'm happy with the results of it, but the other result is that I did not get to relax for that time. Implemented the fix. Now treats standard keyboard movement binding as a complete layout. W primary selects WASD. Up arrow primary selects that. I don't think that's a smart idea. Well, I don't know. Let's take a look at the code. Maybe it's done in a reasonable enough way. Bindings, primary bindings. Primaries are standard movement keys. Oh, never mind. Okay. Then I guess we're pretty much good. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Neat. This should pretty much be done. So we go to our save slot. Oh, we have times in here. This is amazing. This is so amazing. And actually, now if I ever want to check the time, I can just do this. I could go to start game, delete a slot, choose the slot, go back to the title screen, and then check. Oh, it's 11:45 a.m. right now. I actually was curious what the time was. I don't have it showing by default, so I need to hover over the top to see it. That's very funny. Oh, right. I need the keyboard. Move using WASD. Does that even work? Yes. Wow. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Very neat. Something looked a little bit broken about that. Yeah, something's a little weird when using keyboard movement here, right? It's shooting out of the wrong location. No, I think it's just that I moved at like the last possible second. All right, let's give myself a million upgrades here. Yeah, you can see every once in a while it's using the old muzzle position. It's too hard to take a picture of this. But yeah, every once in a while, a bullet shoots from the right side of my body facing left. Is there an easy way to repro this? It's pretty much just hold the buttons down and spam directions, right? Yeah. I think this character had a skin when you played. I can't recall, but definitely the Dungeon Racer one didn't, I'm pretty sure. And this one does now. This looks great. And even the portrait at the upper left has it. So like if we, I mean, I didn't customize it, but if I did customize it, is that broken? I think that is broken. There's this little like, the hair looks weird. Hang on one sec. The hair looks weird on the save slot screen when not animated. Is this an actual frame that we have? Or is this some distortion happening? Hey Maya, how's it going? And yeah, I have a ton of things on my list that I need to get through. All right, so yeah, if we customize this, let's say we change the hair color to whatever this, like a aqua something, and the shirt color to green. This will make it much more obvious. So yeah, now at the upper left, you can see the colors I chose. And I showed this off the other day, but if you wait for long enough, she takes her hood off for just a second so you can see the hair color. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to see because there's only like, what, 10 pixels of hair color there. But that's it for the animations pretty much. Like the sword doesn't show anything different. Using a bomb doesn't even have an animation. And the only other animation is falling. And that just shrinks the character. So yeah, but it looks really good. I like it a lot. Could use one of those. Yeah, it's true. Frame by frame video. Farming game did. Yeah, and I think the loot boxes game might have. It's working there too. I'll show that off really fast. Yeah, we have the same colors here. But I like it a lot. Also, the other change I just made is we now have it so that whatever game you left off on, which I guess I need to like properly do here. So let's switch to this, for example, and speed this up and go down to here. And I think we need to leave. There we go. Okay. That probably worked. I'll just let it skip through this anyway. There. Now it definitely worked. Yeah. So it shows you the sprite of the last game that you played. So here it's a platformer, but here it's the Dungeon Racer one. So I like that a lot. Yeah. Doing well. Thank you. How are you? I'm glad to hear it. I'm doing really well. I'm a little bit overworked. I did 5 play tests over 8 days, which was like extra time spent working. And then yesterday I spent some like 5 or something hours doing stuff, which I really shouldn't have done. And yeah, it's just tough because now the stuff I'm working on today is not like fun tasks. So I'm just kind of slogging my way through this. Yeah, I really like this touch. I think this is great. And I don't know how many people are even going to see this. Also, the sound design of this screen is pretty nice too. Listen to this. Yeah, there's this like kind of creepy sounding sound when you're deleting a save file. And this is the debug amount of time. It's only taking 1 second to delete a file. But for real players, it would take 3 seconds of holding the button down to delete this. But yeah, the screen looks a lot better than it did before. I like it. It's got some personality. I mean, this stuff is all still a little bit simple looking, but yeah, it'll look better eventually. It's all come together, yeah. Yep. Okay, so we got the controls. I just need to review this and then we'll check it in. I'll remove one more thing. So Maya, I don't know if you have ever seen me do this, but the way that I track my to-do list usually is just by looking at the character count. And then at the end of the day, I can see how many characters did I remove. And there's been a non-zero number of times where I've started the day and by the end of the day, I have more characters than I had at the beginning, even though my entire task was just to lower this number. Like, it is normal on an average day of work for you to be like, oh yeah, I came up with 3 more to-do items. But on days where you're explicitly trying to remove them, sometimes you still end up creating like 14 of them. And yeah, today, for example, I found a whole bunch of issues. Now, these are pictures, so they don't really increase the character count a lot, but yeah, the text around them isn't too bad. But yeah, if I had written them out, it would have probably bloated the list. Okay, so WSD is true for QWERTY keyboards. I wonder if you'd render these differently in other cultures or with other keyboard layouts. French keyboard layout. Yeah, it's ZQSD is probably what people use. ZQSD. How to account for this keyboard when using WASD? This is going to be a problem. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. I don't think we can use this as our solution here. To do comments, my beloved. But you must have shipped software that ended up with to-do comments that were stale at that point, right? That's what I always want to try to avoid. So I just take an excessive amount of notes. Yeah, I don't know what to do about this. So we go to the top-down shooter. And I switch to keyboard. And we change this to what a French person would use. Controls, move up is Z. And now that's going to break this. Oh, this UI is not working. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. All right, I gotta think about that. Yeah, I gotta think about that. I don't think we can just apply something simple here. We need some custom logic here. If we have wait a second though. You'd always define this to be other keys. You can't even remove it, can you? You probably can. Also, the rest of that UI is broken. Not keyboard friendly. It's probably also not controller friendly. All right, let me think about this. So by default, we have WASD and we have left up, right down. Like if you're on a French keyboard, you would switch to, what was it? ZQSD or something? Whatever. ZQSD, yeah. QSD. So like we would want to show press ZQSD to move. Motorboat. I saw out of the corner of my eye that chat just jumped and there was a purple banner and I'm like, that's got to be Motorboat. Thank you very much for the gifted subs. Welcome everybody. We should all thank Motorboat. I'll type our Atom Party emotes that we now have. I really appreciate it, Motorboat. Not many people have a spend money on Atom line item in their budget. Motorboat does, and it's the #1 item. Yeah, you want to show press ZQSD to move. So I guess the way we do it, I guess the logic would be something like if you have 4 non-arrow keys bound for movement, show those. If you have a mixture, just show the arrow keys. And assuming they're bound. And so if you have a mixture and 4 arrow keys are bound, show those. Else show the mixture in any way. All right, take care. Yeah, I'm going to get some food pretty soon too, and then I'll take a break from the stream. Hey, Obama. Yeah, it's almost noon for me. Various lines for normal life stuff and their spend money on Atom budget. Food is not present in the budget. Internet is not present in the budget. Moto has to go to an internet cafe just to spend money. It's a very noble life. Yeah, I think this logic makes sense. You have 4 non-arrow keys bound for movement. Show those, no matter what they are. If you have a mixture and 4 arrow keys are bound, then show the arrow keys. Okay, so here's how this would work. Let's say I have it bound to, I don't know, whatever. QWFP is movement. We'll show that. If we have Q, like up arrow FP, then we'll show that. And if we have Q for up and then up, left, down, right, we show arrows instead of showing you the Q, right? Yeah. Because the other thing that I think is going to work here, first of all, whatever you're used to in your culture for whatever the equivalent of WASD is, like what is a German keyboard? Is it also a ZERTY? No, it's quartz. So WASD is still the case there. And what about Spanish keyboard layout? Also WASD. Oh, it's the exact same layout as the US? What's different? Just symbols? Yeah, just symbols. Yeah. And then what else am I forgetting? Italian keyboard layout. This is also the same. So wait, is just French that changes WASD? Anyway, whatever. My point being that whatever you're used to for seeing in games, that's what you should see. But if you've customized anything, showing you the arrow keys, I think will still signal to your brain that, oh yeah, I know what I set my arrow keys to. And you'll just naturally press those anyway. So yeah, I think this logic is the correct logic that we want. So this is where we got a code. I can't snooze ads anymore, so they're going to start in 30 seconds. Oh, like I said, I got to get lunch. So I'm going to just probably trigger this prompt and then go get my lunch. So I want to change this. I want to change the logic we use to determine what to show. If you have 4 non-arrow keys bound to movement, like WASD, show only the non-arrow keys. If you have a mixture of arrow and non-arrow keys, if all 4 arrow keys are still bound to the individual directions, then show arrows. Otherwise, show the mixture of keys. Preferring arrows or not? I don't even know what scenario you'd be in where you use the arrow keys for something and like W for something else. Why would you do that? Yeah, just show the mixture. Show the mixture of keys using any resolution order. It doesn't matter whether we prefer arrows or non-arrow keys in the glyphs that we show. APG King, how you doing? All right. This way we accommodate French keyboards that apparently use ZQSD. Again, I have to look at the picture because it just sounds so wrong to me because I've never thought about that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sounds reasonable. Nope. I did not press enter correctly there. And then the font, I guess I'll just have it do it in a work tree. Modify this to create an and character. Follow the patterns using the other glyphs. Cool. Cool. See, we're talking about French keyboards. Just for a little bit, do you use ZQSD? French have a bunch of competing layouts like we have in English. Probably. I think all of the layouts I just looked at are more or less like a QWERTY layout and nothing like a Dvorak layout or a Colmac layout or something. Yeah. Yeah, so if you saw like ZQSD, you'd know that it's okay, it's like arrow keys. If you saw WASD, presumably just because of the sort of influence of American people on the internet, you'd also know that it's supposed to be that. But for your games, you'd expect it to be ZQSD, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, okay, I gotta get lunch because I need food. I've been streaming now for 3.5 hours. So yeah, I'm gonna go get lunch. I'll be back in about an hour. We'll stream for another maybe like 2 hours. I'm not super feeling the work today. I'll do a little bit more. Fingers just go there naturally, yeah. Yeah, and like I said, this should get reset at some point. If it doesn't, then I burned through all this with an incorrect assumption here. But we'll check it out after I get back. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for being here. We have a new rebranded Discord for Xtonomous games now. It's not just Skeleseller anymore. I'll just use the Skeleseller icon. So I will see you all in a bit. Have a good rest of your day, though. Take care. Goodbye. Thanks for being here.